Chapter 1680. What else did they have to do? It might be something big. For someone with great ambition and even a bit of a mental illness, the things they did might not be that simple. Boss, what are we going to do now? Are we going to control those human factions and make them ours? Blood Devil asked excitedly. Linya furrowed her brows. Heh. Zhao Mengyue sneered. I don't care about those human factions. I care about the entire human race. Zhao Yingming's eyes flickered. Boss, what should we do then? After all, we're alone. Small Glasses, who was sitting there, adjusted his glasses and said, I think the more important thing now is to consolidate our forces. I'll bring you guys to a place first and find that person. Boss is referring to Di Lin. Di Lin was powerful. He was once the leader of the 12 demon gods. He was also the strongest. Zhao Mengyue also needed this power. This was a power she absolutely couldn't lack. Once she obtained this power, she would be considered to have completely graduated. She didn't obtain all of the 12 demon gods' powers. Lin Xian snatched 2 of them, Dark Mist and Myriad Demonic Lightning. But for now, it was still going smoothly. Yes, the location has been confirmed. Let's go. After this, follow me to the devil race. We won't be staying in the human race for now. Linya furrowed her brows. Why are we going to the devil race? Zhao Yingming's lips curled up. Let's go to the human race together. Let me become the king of the human race. Ha 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 ha. Then she looked up and laughed. On the other side, the girls in the room were eating very happily. Everyone was talking and laughing. It had been a long time since it was so lively. Little Tianyi, you can't eat this. It's too spicy. Plus, you haven't grown teeth yet. An Exine hugged little Tianyi and said carefully, they're all eating ghosts. A room full of eating ghosts. Morong Qing smiled. Eating is the way of the king. All right, what did you get from the God Awakening door? Morong Qing looked at Lin Xian and asked while eating. 1 domain, and then all my attributes are doubled. Lin Xian. All your attributes have doubled. Why are you so calm? Many of the girls were shocked. For others, this was a very terrifying increase. But for Lin Xian, this increase was not bad. He was quite satisfied with it, but it wasn't particularly heaven-defying. Then what's your current realm? 9 stars of the Great Void Stage. Lin Xian. So fast. Upon hearing Lin Xian's words, Lu Yufan and the others were secretly shocked. It's all right. Lin Xian scratched his head. I'm only at the domain realm. Lu Yufan pouted. The Grand Domain realm is already not bad. Continue to work hard and try to reach the Empyrean realm as soon as possible. That's amazing. Once you reach the Empyrean realm, don't think about increasing your cultivation realm too quickly. Lin Xian said. Okay. Time flies. Yi sighed. Yeah, it's really fast. Hey, what are you guys doing? Are you all tired of the secular world and want to become monks? Lin Xian said. That's not it. I really feel like time is flying by. She still remembered the first time she met Lin Xian at Tianhua Academy. At that time, everyone was so weak. Now, Lin Xian had become a super powerful existence. They were also working hard to improve. Your generation has already broken the norm. Bai Xian said. What do you mean by our generation? How much older are you than me? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. But it's true that the young people of this generation have improved their cultivation realm rapidly. They have already surpassed any other generation. Yeah, look at the others. They might not even reach the Great Void Stage in their decades, but you guys are all in your 20s. Of course, there is also a difference between geniuses. You are all geniuses. This is normal. There are still a majority of people who can't reach such a high realm even if they work hard. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. I think it's all the same. Although we have a system in this era, the system will also determine your level based on your talent. The worse your talent, the more experience points you need to level up. It's not even something that hard work can make up for. Lin Xian said. That's true. Lin Xian, what are you going to do next? Are you going to break through the heavenly Tao? Lin Xian smiled and said, how can it be so easy to break through the heavenly Tao? This is a huge gap. It requires a great opportunity to break through in a short period of time. If there isn't such an opportunity, then it will depend on the situation. It's true that it's not so easy to break through the heavenly Tao, but it's just a matter of time for you. Maybe 8 or 9 years, or 3 to 5 years. Linglong Shui said. Will it take that long? Everyone? This is called long? To Lin Xian, this was called long. He had to return to Earth. His note clearly stated that he had to quickly advance to the heavenly Tao realm before returning to Earth. This was because there were still girls on Earth silently waiting for him. He couldn't make them wait for 5 or 10 years, right? It really won't be long. To the Fae, the heavenly Tao realm might take 100 years to break through, or even longer. To humans, the top geniuses will take 5 or 10 years without any opportunities. It might seem like many geniuses of your generation have reached the Great Void Realm or the high levels of the Great Void Realm, but the heavenly Tao realm is the key to widening the gap. Some people might be geniuses now, but they might not be able to advance to the heavenly Tao realm their entire lives. Some might need decades or centuries, while others only need a few years. This is where the gap widens. Lin Xian stroked his chin. Yeah, I got it. By the way, Xiao Linglong, the advancement of the heavenly Tao realm requires a very critical factor, right? Linglong Shui nodded. Yes, there are 2 critical factors. First, the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual energies are sufficient to support your advancement to the heavenly Tao realm. This isn't difficult, but the second factor is difficult. The heavenly Tao is a very special realm. In fact, many people fail to advance to the heavenly Tao not because they lack talent, but because they lack soul power. When your soul power reaches a certain level, coupled with your talent and cultivation level, you can attempt to break through to the heavenly Tao. Soul power? Is this soul power our soul? Lan Xingxing asked while blinking her large eyes. You can say that. There are strong and weak soul powers, but most of the time, you won't be able to sense its existence. This is because there are very few opportunities to use soul powers. For example, psyche, control, certain laws, etc. However, many things are closely related to soul powers. Chapter 1681. Lin Xian was well aware of this. Many martial artists would overlook soul power because they couldn't intuitively feel how it could help them. However, it was very, very important. Lin Xian had the law of creation and the law of destruction. Releasing these 2 laws required soul power, mental power, and spiritual power. Therefore, he knew how important soul power was. Therefore, when you are cultivating, you must remember to cultivate your soul power at all times. Linglong Shui looked at the group of girls and reminded them. Sister Linglong, how do we cultivate? Miao Xiao Miao asked. The cultivation of soul force is something you have to do when you are meditating. The cultivation of soul force is a very difficult thing. You might have to cultivate for 5 or 10 years before you can feel a slight increase in your soul force. Bing Lingyue nodded. Yes. Generally speaking, if you want to increase your soul power, you can only rely on some heaven and earth spiritual items. However, these items are very rare, much rarer than any other heaven and earth spiritual items. Then what should we do? There is always a way. Although it is rare, it can be found. It is just a matter of whether it is strong or weak. After all, the strong ones are hard to find, and the ordinary ones are easy to find. Under normal circumstances, from now on, you should focus on increasing your soul power. Grasp every little thing that can increase your soul power. As long as you are talented enough, the heaven's way will not be a problem. Yes, yes. What about me? Lin Xian looked at Linglong Shui. Linglong Shui pondered for a moment and said, The strength of your soul power is already much stronger than ordinary warriors. It is not a problem for you to advance to the heaven's way. However, if you want to advance to the Heaven's Way more easily, you still need to increase your soul power. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I will pay attention from now on. After all, I am only at the 9 stars of the Great Void Realm. I still have 10 stars to prepare for the Heaven's Way. Okay. What do you plan to do next? Luo Chenxi asked. I want to do a lot of things, but I have no idea. Let's wait and see. I plan to spend some time with you guys. Lin Xian said with a smile. This was indeed what Lin Xian needed to do. It might not take a long time, a few days, a week, or half a month. Other things might be more important, including finding Linya. Of course, Lin Xian would definitely take this matter to heart. However, they really needed company. Otherwise, Lin Xian would really feel embarrassed. Tell me, after leaving for so long, how could you not spend some time with them? Especially since all of them were so magnanimous. They were all very nice. Teske, who needs your company? Miao Xiaomiao mumbled. Just you wait. When the time comes, I will definitely beat you up. Teske. It's getting late, everyone should go back and rest. Lin Xian glanced at the time and said, All right, then we'll head back first. Everyone, rest early. Then, the girls left in a grandiose manner. Previously, the house was so crowded that it was about to explode. Now that they left, they suddenly felt that although there were still a few people, it was still very spacious. With a thought, Lin Xian released the law of creation and the entire house became exceptionally clean. This was too comfortable. The law of creation was too useful. It's getting late, everyone should go to sleep. Cough cough, sleep. Lin Xian said awkwardly. They obviously knew what this B*TCH wanted to do. And then let's all rest. Hey, little Icy. Lin Xian called out to Yi Renbing. And that little She, help take care of her tonight. Lin Xian smiled awkwardly. Shameless. Ling Longyue couldn't help but spit. I'm going to sleep with them. Then, she released the power of space and disappeared. Lin Xian scratched his head. Yi Renbing's lips curled up slightly. It's tiring enough to take care of one. You can leave little She to Lingyue. Lin Xian looked at Bing Lingyue. Okay. Bing Lingyue nodded. Then, little She was carried away by her and Huang Shi. Hee. Clatter. Lin Xian turned off the lights. Everyone returned to their rooms. Lin Xian and Linglong Shui went back to her room. If one were to say that Lin Xian liked anyone, he would like anyone. If one were to ask him to choose, he would not be able to pick anyone. However, there would always be a few girls who treated Lin Xian differently. These girls were all so beautiful and noble. Lin Xian would have to find one of them. Actually, there was no need to think too much. It was obviously Ling Longshui. The others also knew in their hearts that compared to Linglong Shui, they were different in Lin Xian's heart. Xiao Linglong, I missed you so much. Lin Xian hugged her as soon as they entered the room. Linglong Shui had now completely adapted to Lin Xian's identity. She had also adapted to Lin Xian's touch. They were already an old couple. Although it wasn't a lot this time, they already had a baby. She completely regarded herself as Lin Xian's woman. Go take a shower. Linglong Shui pushed Lin Xian and said. Of course, she knew what was going to happen next. To be honest, Lin Xian was going to suffocate to death. It had really been a long time. Although he was with Mu Qingyar at that time, to be honest, Lin Xian didn't touch her much afterward because Lin Xian had been using the law of creation to create all kinds of things for them. Of course, Lin Xian didn't remember now. In any case, he just felt that he was suffocating. The main thing was that Xiao Linglong was too beautiful and so fairy-like. Even if Lin Xian wasn't suffocating now, he couldn't hold it in at all, okay? Let's kiss first and then go take a shower. Then, Linglong Shui was helplessly spat on by Lin Xian. Let's go take a shower together. Linglong Shui. Lin Xian directly carried her up and walked to the bathroom indoors. After a big battle. During this period, your sister appeared a few times. She only left behind some power, but I think she should be fine. Linglong Shui lay there and said, "Well, I don't know where little fairy is now." Lin Xian sighed. "A month ago, I tracked them once, but their tracks were not fixed. They don't have an absolutely fixed place. There are only a few of them, and they can go to the ends of the earth. I can't find them if I don't completely lock down their location." Linglong Shui shook her head. "It's okay. There will always be a way." "All right." Lin Xian suddenly slapped his forehead. "Did my sister try to contact you?" Linglong Shui shook her head. "I don't know. Anyway, I didn't receive any contact. I went to the restaurant you mentioned before once in a while, but there was no news." Chapter 1682. The only place where Lin Xian could contact Linya was the small restaurant where they used to eat together. Previously, Lin Xian had indeed received some news from Linya, but since then, he hadn't received any news. However, Lin Xian could understand that it would be very difficult for Linya to find an opportunity. Perhaps she really didn't have any special news to give him? No, that shouldn't be the case. It should be that Linya also knew that Lin Xian wasn't here. He had gone to the God's Awakening door, so she didn't find an opportunity to go there and give Lin Xian any news. It's fine. As long as little fairy is fine, it's fine. I'll go take a look later. It shouldn't be difficult to find any news about her." Linglong Shui nodded. It shouldn't be difficult. Many of their movements are very high profile. They will go to a place in a high profile manner, do something, and leave behind a bunch of traces. Lin Xian laughed. "So it shouldn't be difficult. Actually, I don't have to go find little fairy, but I have to do it before she carries out her true ambitions and plans." Her ambitions were nothing more than that. But to realize these ambitions, ambition alone wasn't enough. You had to have the ability, and this ability wasn't enough. You had to have the capital to reach a certain level. Although the 12 demon gods were powerful, the 12 demon gods who had once brought chaos to the world were not only powerful, but each of them had reached a certain level of strength. Their realms were high enough that they were above everyone else. Tell me, although Zhao Mengyue has so much power now, how can she raise this power to the point where it's above everyone else? Impossible. How could she do something that the entire human race and the entire demon race couldn't? This wasn't realistic. However, there was indeed a thorny problem. Her influence was too small. She only had a few people, and those people were all top-notch experts. They also didn't have a fixed territory. It was too difficult to lock onto their position and capture them. This wasn't something that could be done with space. In order to do so, there were two conditions. Either they were fixed at a certain place, and you already knew that place, or you knew where they were going in advance. Otherwise, even Lin Xian, no, even Linglong Shui couldn't lock onto them, so how could you find Linya? Now, there were only two things that Lin Xian needed to do. First, raise his strength to the heavenly Tao realm. Only then would he have absolute capital. Second, find Linya. These were Lin Xian's two tasks at the moment. Rest. If there's anything else, we'll talk about it when you wake up. Lin Xian hugged Linglong Shui's delicate body. Yes. Then they fell asleep. Lin Xian slept soundly, and so did Linglong Shui. Early the next morning, Lin Xian was woken up by the fragrance coming from outside through the crack in the door. When he woke up, he realized that Linglong Shui had woken up at some point in time. Holiest *T. How could he sleep so soundly? Lin Xian didn't even notice that the person beside him had woken up, opened the door, walked out, and closed the door. Perhaps it's because I'm sleeping too soundly at Xiao Linglong's place. Lin Xian chuckled. He didn't know how long it had been since he had such a feeling. No matter how he slept, he would always leave a wisp of his perception to pay attention to his surroundings. But with Linglong Shui, Lin Xian was absolutely relaxed. In the past, He needed to release his perception to protect himself and the people around him. But here he was protected. He could completely sleep. After all, there was a house full of heavenly Tao realm experts. Lin Xian looked out the window. It was raining heavily today. It was too early, so the light was still very dim. Lin Xian opened the door and walked into the living room. The living room's lights were lit and it was especially dazzling. There was an exquisite breakfast on the table. Bing Lingyue, Yi Ranbing, Huang Shi, Ling Long Shui, Little Tianyi, and Little Sheshe had all woken up. They were sitting around the table and eating breakfast. "Morning," Lin Xian said. "Morning. You must be exhausted from last night." Yi Renbing hugged Tianyi and said as she fed him, "Lin Xian, hey, don't drive." Lin Xian sat over. "Little Sheshe, hug me." Lin Xian looked at Little Sheshe who was sitting there eating and couldn't help but hug her. "No," Little Sheshe said in a childish voice. "Look, Little Sheshe despises you." "What? This is called liking me." Lin Xian then forcefully hugged her in his arms and teased this girl with a smile. But Little Sheshe only had eyes for delicious food. "When are you going back?" Lin Xian then looked at Huang Shi and asked. Huang Shi paused in her eating. "What? You want this sovereign to go back?" She stared at Lin Xian. No, that's not what I meant. I'm just concerned about you. You have the entire demon god temple to take care of, and no one is as busy as you. I'm not afraid that you'll cause trouble. Come on, you just don't know what to talk about." Yi Renbing exposed Lin Xian. He shook his head helplessly. "Bullshit. I'm King Casanova. How can I not know how to talk to girls?" Lin Xian was immediately unhappy. Huang Shi then said indifferently, "This sovereign knows more about the demon god temple than you, so you don't need to worry." "Oh. That. What about Shui Bingxin and Shui Binglon? I didn't see them come last night." Lin Xian looked at Yi Renbing and asked. "Why? Do you miss them?" "I'm just asking." Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. "They have their own things to do. If you want to see them, this sovereign will ask them to come back in a few days." "Okay." Lin Xian shrugged. "What are you going to do today?" Bing Lingyue asked. "Me. It's raining outside, and there's nothing much to do. I'll accompany you guys, and then I'll go to the Yexian group to have a look. I can't accept that a company with the same experience as the Yexian group will overshadow me." They looked at Lin Xian, and then Bing Lingyue said, "In fact, no matter what, there's no way to overshadow the Yang group. Their teleportation bead is a necessity. Compared to human warriors, it's more necessary than healing potions and spiritual energy recovery potions. Healing potions and spiritual energy recovery potions are produced by many companies, but only the Yang group produces teleportation beads. They have a monopoly." Lin Xian nodded. "I know. I'm just trying to see if there's any way. In this world, only I, Lin Xian, can be in the limelight. No one else can." They shook their heads helplessly. After dinner, Lin Xian accompanied them for a while. After all, it was raining outside, and there was nothing much to do. Then Lin Xian went to the Yexian group. He hadn't been there for a long time. Chapter 1683. The Art Xian group was on the right track. There was nothing wrong with Luo Chenxi and Murong Qing, two beautiful and capable women, leading the Art Xian group. Lin Xian arrived at the Art Xian group and walked in. "Hello, who are you looking for?" The beautiful receptionist stopped Lin Xian and asked politely with a smile. "Oh, I'm looking for your boss." "Excuse me, may I know who you are? Do you have an appointment?" she asked politely, obviously not knowing who Lin Xian was. "Well, I don't have an appointment. Give Murong Qing a call and tell her that Lin Xian is here to see her." Lin Xian was helpless. After all, it had been so long, and Lin Xian rarely came to the Art Xian group. There were no familiar faces here. Even if there were, they would not be in this hall. Lin Xian did not know who to talk to even if he wanted to. He could not say that he was the boss of this group, could he? What was awkward was that he had given all his shares to them. Of course, there was still a small part of the shares with the evil fiend temple. Thinking of this, Lin Xian suddenly realized. *CK. There was still the evil fiend temple. He almost forgot. Now, the people of the evil fiend temple still thought that he and Murong Yu had taken their poison pills and their lives were in their hands. Lin Xian and Murong Feng were playing a big game of chess to completely destroy the evil fiend temple. He had forgotten about this. He had to ask Murong Qing. I'm sorry, Boss Qing is entertaining very important guests. She may not have time for now. What about Luo Chenxi? Boss Luo is also here. The receptionist felt that the man in front of her was not simple. He actually called the two bosses by their full names. Sir, I'll take you to the lounge to wait. I'll inform you when the time comes. Lin Xian nodded. Okay. About an hour later, Murong Qing and Luo Chenxi personally escorted a few people down. Lin Xian heard the commotion and came out as well. You don't have to send me off. I'll take my leave first. The handsome man said. Take care. Then, he left the Art Xian group with a few people. Murong Qing and Luo Chenxi also saw Lin Xian. What happened? Lin Xian leaned over and asked. Let's talk upstairs. Yes. Then they went upstairs. The young lady at the front desk opened her mouth. Hey, you, who is that person? Why can you speak to President Qing and President Luo directly? I don't know either. I've never seen it before. At this time, a cleaning lady who was sweeping the floor passed by and said, Him? He is the real boss of our Xian group. The Xian group was established by him. Hiss. Their faces were filled with shock. That's not right. I heard that Xian group was established by President Lin in the past. He is Boss Lin's younger brother. I see. Lin Xian, Murong Qing, and Luo Chenxi arrived at an office. That person is from the Yang group. Luo Chenxi poured a cup of tea for Lin Xian and said, Oh. What are you here for? He said that he is here to talk about cooperation. In fact, he has other ideas. Oh yes, he is also one of President Qing's suitors. Lin Xian looked at Murong Qing. Come on. Murong Qing laughed and said, Only his face is better than Lin Xian's. As for the rest, it's really not good. Especially that kind of confidence that seems like the whole world can't compare to him. I can't stand it. Hey. Lin Xian glared at her. Are you kidding? But he does have the capital. The Yang family is a top existence among the reclusive families, and he is the eldest son of the Yang family. Today, he came here mainly to say that he wants to develop the Yang group's industry in Lin and City, and Lin and City is now the territory of our Xian group. Lin Xian said, Lin and City is almost under our Xian group now, isn't it? What are you thinking? Do you think that we can easily take over a city with only one company? But that's basically what I mean. Murong Qing said. However, it's quite troublesome now. Previously, there was no industry that could shake our Xian group. Therefore, we invested almost all of our investments in the acquisition of Lin and City. This caused the Yang group to have quite a big impact on us now. If they forcibly compete with us for Lin and City, we are likely to be in big trouble. Luo Chenxi said at this time. Are you serious? Lin Xian opened his mouth. However, they will also have to pay a huge price, but we will have to see if they are willing to pay this price. Looking at them, Lin and City seems to be of great significance to their Yang family, but I can't guess what it is. If they insist on doing this, then it must be of great significance, such as strategic significance. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Then how are we going to get through this crisis? Lin Xian asked. Murong Qing looked at Lin Xian and said, It's simple. It's nothing more than money. It's useless even with the Holy Temple supporting us. Big brother, the Holy Temple values you more than the Xian group. You and the Xian group are more important. Even if we borrow money from the Holy Temple, it's such a large sum of money. This is not something that your dear Uncle Morong can make the decision. Do you understand? Lin Xian shrugged. I'll think of another way. How much do we need? Hundreds of thousands or billions? Only then can we completely guarantee that there won't be any problems in the short term. Or we can give up monopolizing Lin and city and shrink this circle. Lin Xian said, how can we give up when things have already come to this? I'll think of a way. By the way, about the evil fiend temple's controlling stake, has anything happened in the past 3 months? It's fine if you don't talk about this. Now that you mention it, I get angry. Morong Qing took a sip of tea. In the past 3 months, the evil fiend temple has taken a lot of money from the Yexian group. Although they don't have many shares, they are shares of the Yexian group after all. This money is not a small amount. They don't care about the crisis of the Yexian group. They only care about using the money to develop themselves. This is a small matter. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. But the Yang Group's teleportation pearl is indeed an invincible project. What other project can guarantee an absolute profit like the teleportation pearl? It's a consumable and a necessity, and there will always be people buying it? Lin Xian thought. Many things in the Yexian group were very exaggerated, but compared to the teleportation pearl's usage rate and consumption rate, it was much worse. What? Genius Lin, are you planning to have a good fight with the Yang family? It's simple. If you can sell the attribute increasing potion on a large scale, the funds will be in place in a short time. But this is not realistic. No. I want to do something new. It's time to let some people who overestimate themselves understand where the gap is. Chapter 1684. Lin Xian had never been afraid of anyone in this aspect. Damn. With the system, how could he be surpassed by others in terms of business? There were still several missions in the system that Lin Xian had not completed. At most, he could ask the system lady to change the mission rewards. What do you have in mind? To be honest, the Yang group was indeed powerful. The teleportation bead was really profitable. Although the Yexian group was not afraid, after all, they each earned their own profits. However, as the Yexian group had invested almost all of its profits into the acquisition of Lin and city, the Yexian group did not have that much capital now. If the Yang group really had any designs on the Yexian group, the Yexian group would be greatly affected. There were 2 ways. They could either earn more money or sell off the properties in Lin and city. However, they had just bought so much. If they sold and bought, they would suffer a huge loss. Moreover, they would really be treated as a joke. Instead, the Yang group would succeed. Obviously, they could not leave. Lin Xian shook his head. No. Tisk. Morong Qing rolled her eyes. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we are already big enough. We have enough capital. As long as the Yang group doesn't use force, there will be no problem. Even if they do, we are not to be trifled with. Luo Chenxi said. In fact, they still had a lot of confidence in the Yexian group's capital. This was not something that others could easily compare to. However, this capital had basically become an inherent asset. This was quite awkward. What inherent asset? It was the entire Lin and city. Most of the residential areas, shopping malls, schools, shops, and so on in Lin and city had been acquired by them. Therefore, in simple terms, Lin and city had almost become an inherent asset of the Yexian group. If the house you bought was another developer's, then sorry, it was equivalent to buying the Yexian group. The entire land also belonged to the Yexian group. This was the reason why the Yexian group was still afraid of the Yang group even though they had earned so much money these days. Another sad thing was that the evil fiend temple had lost a lot of their money. Let's have a meal together later. Lin Xian said. Didn't we just eat last night? That's different. That was a gathering for everyone. Today, it's us. Morong Qing stared at Lin Xian. Are you up to something again? Hey, I'm very sincere. Let's talk about work. On the other side, young Master Yang, can we take down the Art Xian group? They followed Yang Tian and asked respectfully. Yang Tian revealed a confident smile, as though he had everything under control. This Ye Xian group is indeed not simple. Before the Yang family was born, this young master had already paid attention to this Ye Xian group, but they lost because they were too arrogant. They completely believe that no capital can shake them. They even didn't hesitate to spend almost all of their capital to acquire the entire Lin and city. What a pity! Yang Tian lit a cigarette and took a puff. It's a pity that they don't think there's any capital that can shake them, especially with the divine temple standing behind them. They are even less afraid, so they don't even wait for a period of time to buy when they have more capital. Instead, they buy while making money. They simply don't put capital in their eyes. But now, the Yang family can do it. Yang Tian rubbed his chin. But, with the Yang family's capital, wouldn't it be difficult? Yang Tian sneered. Call headquarters and tell them to hold a press conference tomorrow. It's time for those 2 items to be sold. Yes. Yang Tian cracked his neck and sneered. So what if this Ye Xian group has the divine temple support? It's not the divine temple support, it's just Murong Feng standing behind them. My Yang family also has a place in the 12 Elders Association of the Divine Temple. Murong Feng is the master of the Divine Temple, but don't think that just because he's the master of the Divine Temple, the entire Divine Temple belongs to him and the Murong family. Perhaps it was like this a long time ago, but after so many years of development, there are no longer any forces. He only belongs to one person, one family. Of course, this refers to the major forces. The Divine Temple has the 12 Elders Association. What does the 12 Elders Association mean? Simply put, the Divine Temple is divided into 12 parts, led by 12 families or forces. The Murong family is one of the 12 Elders Association, and so is the Yang family. Therefore, there are some things that cannot be decided by the Murong family alone. Therefore, he is not afraid of the Divine Temple's possible support for the Ye Xian group. Now, the Yang family's capital is not enough to shake the Ye Xian group, but what if a product like the teleportation pearl appears in the market? Then in a short time, their capital will be enough to shake the Ye Xian group. Kai Zi, let's go. Follow me around Lin and city. Yes, young master. Then, Yang Tian led his loyal follower around Lin and city. Young master, I have a question. Yang Tian looked at Lin and city and said calmly, What is it? Ask away. That is, why must we take over Lin and city? Yang Tian took a puff of his cigarette and said calmly, This matter involves a lot of things, but the reason is very simple. Lin and city is a treasure trove. Treasure trove? Kai Zi asked doubtfully. Yes, over the years, the family has researched something. Lin and city is located in a dragon vein in the entire sky blue planet. A dragon vein in the entire continent? But I don't feel that there is anything special about Lin and city. That's because you can't feel it now. After a while, maybe a year, maybe 3 years, Lin and city will become a very exaggerated place. Lin and city will become a place that the entire human race will protect with their lives, and the Yang family must take over this place. That's right, the first thing the Yang family did when they came out was to attack the Ye Xian group and Lin and city. Others did not understand, but only a few people in the Yang family knew about this matter. So powerful? Yang Tian nodded. Yes, very powerful indeed. The Ye Xian group has already set their sights on Lin and city a long time ago, even going so far as to buy over Lin and city and make it their territory. In the eyes of others, they do not understand, because this is a city that borders the territory of the demon race. Other companies are running away, but they are holding on. From this, it can be seen that the people behind them know the reason, and they must take over Lin and city. Lin Xian did not know at all, he just randomly chose it. Chapter 1685. To Lin Xian, it was all a coincidence. He really did not know of such a saying. If he knew, then others would know as well. How could Lin Xian's art pavilion group get Lin and city so easily? Yang Tian continued, if Lin and City falls into the Yang family's hands, do you know what the benefits are? Kai Zi shook his head. The benefits are that the Yang family will become the strongest family in the entire continent. The Yang family will control the entire dragon vein in Lin and City. Moreover, even if the shifters target us, the entire human race, the three major forces, and all the other forces will have to protect Lin and City. They might even risk their lives to protect Lin and City because the human race will never give up the dragon vein to the shifters. Yang Tian said excitedly. What did the dragon vein mean? Simply put, it was the lifeline of a place. For example, if a force's family had a lot of resources, it could even be the lifeline of their family. If you cut off their lifeline, it could be an underground mine. Their family's fortune would be cut off. This was definitely not a joke. The dragon vein was the lifeline of the entire continent, not the entire human race, including the shifters. It was the lifeline of the entire sky blue planet. What benefits would such a place bring? No one knew, but it was unimaginable. But, if that's the case, even if Lin and City falls into our hands, it's normal for others to take it away by force. After all, the Yang family can't stop the entire continent from fighting for it, right? Yang Tian smiled and said, fighting for it? After Lin and City is legally our territory, who do you think would dare to fight for it? Unless the entire human race is in chaos, so much so that no one cares about the internal strife. Only then would it be taken away. But do you think the human race will be so chaotic now? It's impossible. No matter what, it's impossible. As long as the three major forces are still around, the human race will not be in chaos. And it's impossible for the three major forces to be gone. So, there's no need to worry. I see. Yang Tian rubbed his chin and said, the rest will depend on when we take down Lin and City and force them to withdraw their control. The Yang family will have this capital very soon. Who told them to change their capital into inherent assets? The Yang family never wanted to bankrupt the Yexian group. No matter what they did, it was impossible. However, the Yexian group had exchanged their money for their inherent assets. This led to an economic war. The Yexian group was no match for the Yang group unless they sold off their inherent assets. Therefore, Yang group's idea was to let them sell it off and then take over it themselves. From there, they would slowly take control of Lin and City. That was their goal. At the very least, they could split Lin and City with Yexian group. Let's go and have a drink. After that, Yang Tian brought Kai Zi to a famous bar in Lin and City. Although it was daytime, there were still many people in the bar, and there were also many beautiful women. On the contrary, there were more rich and elegant ladies who were willing to stay in this kind of high-end bar. Of course, they also liked to stay in noisy bars. What was the purpose of going to a bar? Picking up girls. Yang Tian had heard that Lin and City had a lot of beautiful women. It was very exaggerated. Many famous beauties were in Lin and City. At first, he did not believe it, which city did not have beautiful women. But later on, he took a look on the internet. Oh my God! A group of beautiful women shopping. Each of them was so beautiful that it was suffocating. Each of them had their own merits. It was too shocking. He liked Murong Qing. To be precise, he liked any beautiful woman, be it Murong Qing or Luo Chenxi. He liked them all. However, he could only express his love to one woman on the surface. He liked Murong Qing because he knew that Murong Qing was the biological sister of Master Murong of the Divine Temple. That was extraordinary. They came to the bar and found a place to sit down. The entire bar had a good atmosphere and was not too noisy. Although it was daytime, there were still many people. Basically, everyone was sitting there, drinking wine, eating snacks, and listening to the beautiful women singing on the stage. Young master, beautiful women, beautiful women. Although there were many beautiful women here, there were a few that caught their attention at a glance. Most importantly, there were many people surrounding that area. Yang Tian looked over. Occasionally, the bright lights would shine on their faces, highlighting their beautiful features. They were really beautiful. They seem to be very famous? Young Tian looked over in confusion. It was normal for beautiful women to have people hitting on them. However, there were many people hitting on them. They were asking for autographs. I think so. They seem to be famous celebrities. That's right. They were Miao Xiao Miao, and Xian, Zi Qiue, Lu Yufan, Zhao Yunqi, and Yi Yi. They had nothing to do today, so they came over to drink and chat. They originally wanted to invite that shameless Lin Xian over, but this guy said that he had a beautiful woman to accompany him. They were helpless. Heavenly consort, can you give me an autograph? Zi Qiue smiled. I'm no longer a celebrity. In my eyes, Heavenly Consort will always be my idol and an Xian. Oh my God. I didn't expect to see you here. They gave these people autographs helplessly. After the song ended, the beauty smiled and said into the microphone, "Today, I'm very honored to meet two idols that I respect and admire very much. They like to sing, and to me, they really have a great effect. I think everyone must want to hear the two of you sing. I wonder if Heavenly Concubine and Princess and Xian can satisfy us?" Then there was a burst of cheers. Under such circumstances, an Xian and Zi Qiue were really embarrassed to refuse. Then let's play. Zi Qiue walked up with a smile. It's Heavenly Consort Zi Qiue. Kai Zi said excitedly. She's so beautiful. Young Tian liked this kind of mature and elegant woman. He took a sip of wine and watched Zi Qiue walk up. An Xian also walked up. Although she was very beautiful, he naturally preferred Zi Qiue to this kind of mature and noble woman. I haven't sung for a long time. Zi Qiue smiled and said into the microphone, "Then today, I'll sing with an Xian a song that made her famous." One of the songs, Choral C, written and composed by Lin Xian. I'll give it to everyone. Then there was a burst of cheers and screams. A beautiful voice slowly sounded. After the song ended, amidst the thunderous applause, Yang Tian took a flower and walked over with a smile. He handed it to Zi Qiue and an Xian. Thank you. The two women nodded politely. You're welcome. Today is really a good day. I'm lucky to hear such a beautiful voice. Of course, the most important thing is to see such a beautiful woman. Yang Tian looked at Zi Qiue with a smile and said. Chapter 1686. Yang Tian really felt that Lin and City was very strange. The beauties in Lin and City were really more beautiful than in other places. In fact, he could not be sure about this, but it was obvious that he had prey in Lin and City. He had seen too many beauties, but this level was really rare. Zi Qiue still smiled and nodded politely, "Thank you." Then she said to everyone, "Everyone, have fun." "Thank you." Then the two women walked down amidst the cheers. Yang Tian also walked over with a smile. Hiss. At first, he could not see them clearly from afar, but when he got closer, oh my God. Each and every one of them was unbelievably beautiful. "Beauties, may I sit here?" Yang Tian asked with a smile. "Sorry, no." Hey, of course, no problem." Lu Yufan said with a smile. They glanced at Lu Yufan. "Thank you. Kaizi, go and get a few bottles of good wine." "Yes, young master." Yang Tian then smiled and said to them, "This is my first time in Lin and City. I've met so many beauties on my first day in Lin and City. It's simply a blessing of 3 lifetimes. Let me introduce myself. I'm Yang Tian from the reclusive family." He had directly revealed his identity. One had to know that people were all vain, but the degree of vanity varied. Recently, the news of the reclusive family was so popular. Everyone knew that even the weakest of the reclusive family was very strong. If Yang Tian directly revealed his identity, wouldn't these girls have a good impression of him out of vanity? Of course they would. So it's the reclusive family. Is it the reclusive Yang family? Miao Xiao Miao asked. Yes. Wow, does the Yang group belong to your family? Lu Yufan exclaimed. The corner of Yang Tian's mouth curled up slightly, then he nodded. I'm not talented, but the Yang group was founded by me. Of course, the Yang family support, including funds and connections. Wow! They cried out in surprise. Of course, it was more of an act. At first, Lu Yufan's idea was very simple. It was so boring. Since someone came to strike up a conversation, he might as well chat with them. Who knows, they might even pay for him. Although they were not short of money, they were all at the age where they liked to play, except for Zi Qiue. However, ever since Zi Qiue became famous, she hadn't had a chance to play properly. Instead, she wanted to play with everyone even more. She was their big sister, but she liked to play with them. There was no barrier between them, and they had a lot of topics to talk about. Other than playing, they also made music together, shot music videos together, and went to the demonic beast domain together to improve their cultivation. They were very happy. Although they had all retired from the entertainment industry, music was still their hobby and they would occasionally release music. But now, it was different. At first, they only wanted to play, but now that they knew that Yang Tian was from the Yang group, they had other thoughts. Although they all used the Yang group's teleportation pearl, they also knew that the Yang group was a big opponent for the Yexian group. Moreover, the Yang group seemed to be targeting the Yexian group. This was what Lin Xian heard when he was chatting with Luo Chenxi and Murong Qing during dinner last night. And this person also said that he was the one who founded the Yang group. That was amazing. They might be able to get some information. Yang Tian laughed in his heart when he heard the exclamation. He, it's a small matter, a small matter. You look so young. Did you really establish the Yang group? You're so amazing. Lu Yufan's little mouth opened slightly, looking as if she was admiring him. Yes, everything was done by this young master personally, including the teleportation bead. Hearing this news, their eyes lit up. This news was very important. Lin Xian and the others meant that the teleportation pearl gave them a lot of pressure. What if they could get something out of it? Wow, all of us are using the teleportation pearl. Lu Yufan then took out a few pearls. Yes. Yang Tian smiled and nodded. Then you have to use it more. This thing is equivalent to having an additional teleportation ability. It's very important. I'll give you a few teleportation pearls that can teleport you hundreds or thousands of meters away. Really? Yang Tian smiled and nodded. Of course. It's my duty to give something to a beauty. Thank you. This teleportation pearl can teleport you more than 10 meters away. Zhao Yunqi was also a smart girl. Since everyone was trying to get information out of them, she naturally started as well. Of course. It's just that we don't sell them. For example, an ordinary teleportation pearl consumes 1 spatial energy. However, teleportation of 1,000 meters consumes hundreds of spatial energy instead of 100. It's completely unnecessary to use it to make money. It's better to make all of them into teleportation pearls that can teleport you 10 meters away and win with quantity. The rest is more for personal use and important transactions with others. Yang Tian smiled and said, So that's how it is. Miao Xiaomiao blinked and asked, Brother Yang, what are you doing in Lin and City? Isn't the Yang group located far away? Yang Tian smiled and said, I'm actually here to talk about business. I didn't expect to meet such beautiful girls here. It's really a blessing of 3 lifetimes. He didn't realize that they were trying to get information out of him. It was mainly because he didn't expect that they were Lin Xian's people. He didn't even know who Lin Xian was. He only knew that there was such a person. He really didn't know what he looked like. Maybe it was because he was too conceited. Young Master Yang is going to give us such precious teleportation pearls. Shouldn't we toast him? Zi Qiue said with a smile. Drink mine, Kai Zi. Young Master, I'm coming. Kai Zi ran over with good wine. I should be the one toasting you. Yang Tian said with a smile. He thought that these girls had a good impression of him after hearing his identity. They even began to take the initiative to court him. After 3 rounds of drinking. When drinking, especially in a crowded place like a bar, do you think Yang Tian would deliberately use his spirit power to dissolve the alcohol? No, Miao Xiaomiao secretly put some drugs in the wine. The effect was not obvious. It was just that he didn't even realize that he was drunk. In addition, the girls were having a lot of fun playing rock paper scissors, drinking and so on, causing Yang Tian to forget about everything else as well. Young master, it's getting late. We still have things to do. Kai Zi reminded him. Get lost. Can't you see? I'm busy. Chapter 1687. Yang Tian was obviously the kind of person who lived in seclusion. He might know a lot about conspiracies, but he wasn't so vigilant about these small things. Coupled with the fact that he had just been born, the media's comments about the Yang family made him feel smug. There was also his extremely high realm and this very safe place. Even though it seemed like there was only one rich guy by his side, in fact, there were several experts of the Yang family secretly protecting him and watching him. It was just that he couldn't hear what they were saying. However, once he was in danger, those people would definitely make a move. So, under such circumstances, what was Yang Tian worried about? Yang Tian then said to Kai Zi, "Go where you should go. Don't bother me." Kai Zi hesitated for a moment. Thinking that his young master had top experts protecting him and that he didn't want him to follow him, he walked away. Come. Let's continue drinking." Yang Tian smiled and greeted them. Miao Xiaomiao saw that it was about time. She poured wine for Yang Tian and asked with a smile, "Big brother Yang, how are you so powerful? You can create a teleportation pearl that even changed the face of the continent at such a young age. You're really strong." Yang Tian smiled and said, "It's nothing. Let me tell you, the Yang Group will release another shocking product in 2 days." "Ah, what is it?" Yang Tian smiled and said, "Then I'll tell you. Anyway, the press conference will be held soon. It's a product I call the Divine Power Pill." Yang Tian nodded. "That's right. The Divine Power Pill. After taking it, one's strength will increase by 1/3 in 1 to 3 minutes. There's also the Divine Speed Pill. After taking it, one's speed will increase by 1/3 in 1 to 3 minutes. This effect can even increase the speed of a heavenly venerable by 1/5. They looked at each other. Obviously, once this was released, it would definitely be a hit. And the key was that it was a one-time consumable. In terms of shock, it was definitely not as shocking as the Yaxin Group's products. However, their advantage was that it was a one-time consumable. After using it, they still had to buy it and use it again. This allowed them to continuously make money. This was the advantage of the Yang Group. This increase was huge. Think about it. Eating something that could increase one's speed and strength by 1/3. Who wouldn't want this free increase? It was really a huge increase in combat power. Even a heavenly venerable could increase by 1/5. Once this thing was released, it would be a situation of people fighting for it. However, these were obviously not as powerful as the teleportation pearl. Of course, they were definitely very strong. Then Big Brother Yang, I really don't understand. How can you make things like the teleportation bead? According to my understanding, teleportation is achieved by spirit tools or attributes. However, this teleportation pearl is not a spirit tool. It can only be considered a consumable item. Why can it achieve teleportation? It's really amazing, and it can even produce such a large amount. Then he drank a mouthful of wine and said, "About this, there's no harm in telling you guys. In our Yang family, we have a very top-notch space crystal. It's very big. This space crystal is the size of a fist, and the space energy inside is enough to create millions of teleportation beads." Hearing this, they looked at each other. Then, what about the Divine Power Pill and the Divine Speed Pill? About this, it's actually nothing. These things are just refined from some formulas. It's a bit similar to pills, but the cost is very, very low. Moreover, they are all diluted. They can even double one's strength and speed. Only our Yang family has this formula. If you want, burp, when the time comes, this young master will give you some divine power pills and divine speed pills that can double one's speed and strength. Yang Tian said. Thank you, Big Brother Yang. They probably already knew. This was definitely very important news. Time slowly passed, and they probably already knew what they wanted to know. This young master is telling you. In the future, Lin and city will fall into my hands. You can go wherever you want. Be my women, you will definitely be the happiest people in the world. Yang Tian was really drunk and was floating in the sky. Ah, Big Brother Yang wants Lin and city? Why is that? Miao Xiaomiao asked. Because Yang Tian suddenly became a little sober. Or rather, he subconsciously kept telling himself that this was definitely a secret that could not be said. I'll tell you later, burp. Alright, but Lin and city has the Yexian group. Che, Yexian group? When the God Power Pill and God Speed Pill are released, the Yexian group can only obediently admit defeat under the attack of my Yang group. They looked at each other again. Big Brother Yang, you drank too much. It's getting late, you should go back and rest early. The people protecting Yang Tian were all paying attention to Yang Tian. However, they were very secretive and would not come out easily. They also could not hear Yang Tian's words, so they did not know what Yang Tian had exposed. In fact, the things that Yang Tian exposed were not considered fatal. For example, the space crystal. Would they be afraid that someone would steal it from their Yang family? Who would have the ability and courage to do so? However, they definitely could not let others know about it easily. Of course, Yang Tian wanted to have sex with little Missy, but now that he was drunk and had eaten something similar to a drug that Miao Xiaomiao had secretly put in him, he did not know what he wanted to do now. And then, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Yang Tian wobbled as he walked away. I'll tell Lin Xian first. Miao Xiaomiao then called Lin Xian and told him about the situation. Oh, really? How did you know? Hearing Miao Xiaomiao's words, Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Okay, I got it. By the way, he seems to want to compete with you for control of Lin and city, but we didn't find out why. Lin Xian nodded. Okay, this information is very important. Thank you for your hard work. Not as hard as you. What are you doing? Shopping with a girl. Bastard. Go to hell. Miao Xiaomiao angrily hung up the phone. They invited him over for a drink, but he did not come and went shopping with another girl. How shameless. What's wrong? Morong Qing asked. Lin Xian told her what happened. Yang Tian, is it? What a coincidence, Yang Tian actually bumped into them, but could this be intentional? You're saying that Yang Tian deliberately spread the news to me? But what's the reason? Could it be that he was waiting for me to steal the space crystal from the Yang family and then wait for me? That's not necessary. And what? You want to steal something? Chapter 1688. Morong Qing was stunned when she heard Lin Xian's words. Brother, what are you trying to do? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, what else can I do? No. There's no need for that, okay? Morong Qing believed that although they were competitors, the Yexian group didn't have to be afraid of them. Even if they were to notify Lin and City on behalf of the Yexian group, they had to have the ability to do so. Even if they sold divine power pills, they wouldn't have the ability to do so in a short period of time. And didn't Lin Xian say that he had a way? Lin Xian said, think about it. Lin and City is our competitor, right? Even if I have other methods, the materials, research and development, and manufacturing are all time-consuming. I might as well be straightforward and steal the crystals in this space that they rely on the most. This way, they won't have the capital to fight against the Yexian group. There was nothing wrong with that. If they wanted to mess with the Yexian group, then Lin Xian would have all kinds of ways to mess with them. Whether it was on the surface or behind the scenes, as long as he got rid of them, it didn't matter what schemes they had. This couldn't be said to be sinister. It was a very normal method. That's the Yang family, Morong Qing said. Hey, don't worry. Don't you believe in my strength? I'm now at the 9th level of the mystic heaven realm. I don't believe that it's difficult to infiltrate a family. Murong Qing shook her head. That's a reclusive family. Do you know what a reclusive family is? Isn't it just hiding from the world? Coming out occasionally? That's not the case. Let's talk about warriors. In fact, many reclusive family clans don't want to live in seclusion. Instead, there is a rule that states that such family clans are not to participate in the struggles between factions. This is because such family clans have heavenly Tao realm existences on the surface. Think about it. If a heavenly Tao realm existence participates in the struggles of some factions to establish their own faction, what would the consequences be? Lin Xian, because of the pressure from the heavenly Tao, no one dares to resist. They can even effortlessly seize the forces they want and strengthen their own forces. That's right. Humans' ambition is endless, especially for those clans that are qualified to have such ambition. All of these hidden clans have capital. If they all want to develop their own forces, don't you think that the entire human race will be in chaos? There's also the interference of the Fey race. If humans were to have internal strife again, it would be troublesome. Internal strife caused by heavenly Tao realm existences is no trivial matter. Therefore, the top 3 factions have set up this rule. Heavenly Tao realm existences are forbidden from interfering with these factions' interference. So they went into seclusion. More or less. But they can't possibly fight against the human race, right? The so-called seclusion doesn't mean that they are cut off from the world. I understand. Living in seclusion meant being cut off from the rest of the world. Where would he farm and raise himself? How was that possible? The so-called seclusion meant not interfering in certain matters. They could develop their own companies if they wanted to. They could go out to dance or eat. They could go to the Fey Beast domain if they wanted to. There was nothing different about it. It just meant that they couldn't do much when it came to the factions of warriors. That's why the Yang family has a heavenly Tao realm existence. Even if your realm isn't low, being at the 9th stage of the Great Void realm and having spatial attributes, wouldn't you be courting death if you went to someone else's territory, especially one with a heavenly Tao realm existence? Even if nothing happened, it would be difficult for you to steal their spatial crystals under such circumstances. She shook her head helplessly. Why not? Lass, don't underestimate me. Alright. Up to you. Just make sure nothing happens to you. But, why are they appearing now? Lin Xian stroked his chin and asked. There's nothing we can do about it. The human race is in dire straits. Not only is there internal strife in the Evil Fiend Hall, there are other problems. Then, the Fey race's Fey God Hall and Myriad Fey Alliance are reorganizing. Now, there are 15 Fey God Halls with top Fey gods appearing. The human race urgently needs to improve. Otherwise, when the Fey race rushes over, something bad will happen. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. Indeed. The heavenly blue planet was indeed restless. Furthermore, don't think that everyone's lives are any different from before. Perhaps one day, the entire continent would be engulfed in the flames of war. This was definitely not a groundless fear. Alright, then I'll go now. Hey, so fast. Since I have nothing to do, I'll come back and have sex with you after I'm done. Fuck your mother. On the other side, Lin Xian quickly took a plane to the city where the Yang family was. It wasn't too far. This crystal must be well protected in the Yang family. According to Lin Xian's information, this thing was very big. Lin Xian was quite surprised. A huge space crystal could support the Yang family's sails to the entire continent. How big was it? Of course, Lin Xian knew that the space crystal would be used up sooner or later. However, from the looks of it, it wouldn't be used up in a short period of time. This short period of time was also the most difficult period for the Yaxin group. Could it be that they really wanted to sell some of the businesses and land that they had taken over in Lin and City? Lin Xian couldn't accept that. After the afternoon passed, Lin Xian arrived late at night. The timing was just right. If he wanted to know where the Yang family was, it was a simple matter. The recent news was all about the various hidden families, and these hidden families were all very high profile. However, the Yang family on the surface might not be the true face. This was something that Lin Xian only knew when he went over. Furthermore, the Yang family wasn't the strongest among the reclusive family clans. It could only be considered a mid-tier reclusive family clan. Lin Xian was rather astonished that a mid-tier reclusive family clan had a heavenly Dao realm expert. It was rather powerful. In fact, this wasn't much. Even a low-level hidden family had a heavenly Dao realm. This was because the condition for their hidden family was to have a heavenly Dao realm. This Yang family is in 9 Phantom Mountain. 9 Phantom Mountain is a place with few people. For such a large family, it's indeed suitable to be their base of operations. Lin Xian pondered slightly. 9 Phantom Mountain wasn't even in the city. Of course, there was definitely a Yang family in the city. However, the family that wasn't in the city was the true Yang family. It was the same for the other families. Take Murong Yu's Murong family for example. The real Murong family was made up entirely of cultivators and experts, so it was impossible for them to live in a house in the city. Normally, they would live in a very secluded and quiet place. Then, Lin Xian released his spatial energy and arrived near 9 Phantom Mountain. After arriving there, Lin Xian immediately activated his darkness attribute. Chapter 1689. The concealment of the dark attribute, coupled with the fact that this was Lin Xian's dark attribute, was very powerful and very secretive. Moreover, Lin Xian's cultivation level was at the 9 stars of the Great Void Realm. In fact, it wasn't just the 9 stars of the Great Void Realm. Lin Xian's original strength was coupled with the effect of doubling all his attributes from the God's Awakening Door. Lin Xian even wondered if he could fight a heavenly Dao realm 1 star. However, it was unlikely. Lin Xian could even fight a Great Void Realm's 9 stars at the Empyrean Realm, but he could not fight a heavenly Dao realm's 1 star at the Great Void Realm. This was because the gap between the Great Void Realm and the heavenly Dao realm was just too great. This large realm could not be measured at all. The heavenly Dao realm was a realm that completely exceeded the so-called warriors beneath the heavenly Dao realm. Lin Xian had experienced the might of the heavenly Dao before. How should he put it? Even if he used all his strength and went all out, he felt that it was not even a tenth of the heavenly Dao realm's strength. The gap between the heavenly Dao realm was just too great. Lin Xian even felt that his domain was ineffective against those at the heavenly Dao realm. His realm reduction domain could now forcefully reduce the other party's cultivation level. Furthermore, it ignored one's realm, but could it really ignore the heavenly Dao realm's realm? Lin Xian felt that it was not certain. If a heavenly Dao realm 1 star was released, wouldn't it be too exaggerated if it directly became the Great Void Realm's 9 stars when he released his domain? Lin Xian did not believe that his domain was that exaggerated. Of course, it was not certain. Why? This was because the reduction meant that Lin Xian's spiritual energies would be constantly expended. The harder it was to reduce his realm, the greater the expenditure on Lin Xian. Perhaps it could be done, but Lin Xian's expenditure might reach an unimaginable level. Therefore, the reduction of his realm might not last long. This included the new domain that Lin Xian had recently obtained, the Realm Enhancement Domain. It could raise Lin Xian's realm by 1 star. This was the same. Lin Xian's Great Void Realm's 9-star release was raised to 10-star, but he could raise it from the Great Void Realm's 10-star release to the Heavenly Dao Realm's 1-star release. However, it was possible for him to raise it from the Great Void Realm's 10-star release to the Heavenly Dao Realm's 1-star release. That would consume 100 spiritual energy per second. After all, one had to have sufficient spiritual energy to support the expenditure at one's realm. Lin Xian unleashed his dark attribute, making him absolutely invisible, especially in the middle of the night. Naturally, he wouldn't be easily discovered. Moreover, the Yang clan probably wouldn't have thought that someone would dare to barge into their clan, right? Moreover, there was one thing that Lin Xian could absolutely guarantee, and that was the Eye of Cave Spirit. With his Cave Spirit Eye, Lin Xian could even see the power that could threaten him while he was in hiding. Just like now. Lin Xian stopped in his tracks. This was a small forest that led up the mountain. What did Lin Xian see with his cave spirit eye? An energy that resembled infrared rays filled the area, but it wasn't infrared rays. It was likely some sort of hidden probing spiritual energy. Simply put, one couldn't see it or sense it. However, the moment one touched it, the Yang family would know that someone was coming. The Eye of Cave Spirit was truly an extremely useful ability. Lin Xian avoided the hidden object and continued walking forward. Soon, a few houses came into view. However, Lin Xian knew that this wasn't the real Yang family. Although this was the Yang family, it wasn't the real one. The real one was behind these houses. This was because with his cave spirit eye, Lin Xian could see an illusion of this place. Simply put, if one couldn't see through the illusion, one would only see these few houses with their backs facing the mountain. However, if one could see through the illusion, one would realize that behind these houses was a very, very large family clan. Manor? No, manor could no longer be used to describe this place. This place was much, much, much bigger than a manor. Moreover, there were many empty spaces in the manor. However, from what Lin Xian could see, there were many houses here. But how do I enter? Obviously, Lin Xian couldn't release the power of space to directly enter. One had to know that there was a heavenly Tao here. Ignoring the heavenly Tao, even Great Void and Heavenly Venerables could sense the release of the power of space. Wouldn't Lin Xian be exposed? Disguise. This was the simplest method. However, Lin Xian might be able to disguise himself as the people in front of these houses. However, these people were more likely to be the Yang family's gatekeepers. It wouldn't work. Wait. Yang Tian. Lin Xian suddenly thought of the young master of the Yang family, Yang Tian. He had seen what Yang Tian looked like before. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth curled up slightly. This would be easy. Then, Lin Xian released the law of creation and changed himself into Yang Tian's appearance. Then, he swaggered over. Young master. Seeing Lin Xian, those people hurriedly bowed. They definitely wouldn't think that this wasn't Yang Tian when they saw Yang Tian. How was that possible? Lin Xian nodded. Yes. Young master, didn't you say that you wouldn't be attending the press conference during the day? Why did you come back? He asked. Do I need to tell you whether I'm coming back or not? That person hurriedly bowed. Sorry. Lin Xian directly walked over. Open the door and welcome the young master. The Yang family's door opened. Young master. About a dozen people bowed to Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Damn. Was this a hidden family? In the middle of the night, there were actually dozens of people guarding the door. Although they were basically in the domain law realm, there were 2 heavenly venerables and great void realm. How rich. You guys go ahead. Lin Xian then walked in alone. Those people didn't suspect anything, and no one followed Lin Xian. After all, this was the Yang family, and he was the Yang family's young master. When the young master returned home, who would need to keep an eye on him? Lin Xian walked in this huge Yang family and was secretly shocked. It was really huge. Moreover, the entire Yang family's heaven and earth spiritual energy was very dense. This also meant that there were a large number of very strong heaven and earth spiritual energy here. Also, there were powerful illusions and barriers protecting the Yang family. In other words, outside the Yang family, one wouldn't be able to feel the strong heaven and earth spiritual energy. There were many houses, and there were probably a few hundred people in the Yang family. Adding the Yang family's martial artists, there might be even more. It should be at least 1,000-year-old family. However, it was already late at night, so the entire Yang family was still very quiet. Lin Xian opened his eye of cave spirit and searched for his target. There were many directions for heaven and earth spiritual energy, and Lin Xian didn't know which direction to go. Lin Xian saw a man passing by the roadside. Young master, what orders do you have? He bowed to Lin Xian. Bring this young master to see how the crystal is. Lin Xian said. Yes. However, that person was quite strange. If he wanted to see the crystal, he could go see it himself. Why did he need him to bring him? It was really strange. Chapter 1690. That person brought Lin Xian to this position. Young master, we're here. However, I can't come to this place, so I can only bring you to this position. Lin Xian nodded. Although he hadn't seen the crystal completely, he knew that it was right in front of him. Alright, you can go. Yes, young master. Then he left with a puzzled look. It was really strange. It wasn't like his young master didn't know where this place was. Why did he ask him to bring him here? It was really strange. Lin Xian walked forward. The surrounding spiritual energy became thicker and thicker. Lin Xian even realized that there were many traps and dangers here. Simply put, if someone who wasn't familiar with this place came here, they would definitely fall into the trap. Once they fell into the trap, they would obviously be instantly arrested by the Yang family. However, Lin Xian was different. Lin Xian had the eye of spiritual insight. The eye of spiritual insight could see everything because Lin Xian would definitely not encounter any traps. Then, Lin Xian walked over. Whoa! When Lin Xian reached the destination, the scene in front of him shocked him. Why? In front of him was the deepest part of a forest, the most mysterious place. It wasn't very big, but there were all kinds of spiritual items of heaven and earth, medicinal herbs, and all kinds of other things. In the middle of them all was a huge crystal. How big was this crystal? It was probably as big as a normal house. At first glance, it looked like it had been used before, and many parts had been cut off. It was probably bigger than it used to be. And what were the parts cut off for? They were obviously used to refine teleportation beads. Lin Xian looked at it. There were so many of them. If they all refined teleportation beads, they should be able to last for a while. Although it definitely wouldn't be a long-term thing, this period of time happened to be when the Xian group was at its weakest. They didn't want to use this teleportation bead to earn money for the rest of their lives. What they wanted was to earn a lot of money during this period of time and take over the Xian group. The space crystal isn't that precious. It's a pure space crystal. However, it's rare to see such a big one. Lin Xian had seen space crystals a few times before, and all of them were genuine. Perhaps a space crystal of a few cubic meters was even more precious than a space crystal the size of a house. This was also the reason why the Yang family used these crystals to make money. These crystals didn't have much of an effect on them, so they could only be used to make money. On the contrary, you wouldn't even be able to extract the spatial energy from this crystal, because if you wanted to extract a useful amount of spatial energy, you would have to consume an unimaginable amount of this crystal, so it would be better to make money. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. If I take this thing away, I'll let the Xian group sell something similar to the teleportation bead. Wouldn't that be perfect? The corner of Lin Xian's mouth curled up slightly. This thing wouldn't be of much use to him even if he stole it, so he would definitely benefit the mainland. Now, although the Yang family was selling the teleportation beads to target the Xian group, and although they had made money, they had indeed benefited the mainland and given the people of the mainland such a good thing. If Lin Xian stole it, then the warriors of the mainland wouldn't have the teleportation beads anymore. Of course, this wasn't good, but Lin Xian could do it himself and continue to sell it. It would be the same, just changing the seller. What? The Yang family group was suspecting him? What was the big deal? It didn't matter. At this time, several old men walked in front of him. They all looked strong. Young master, you're back. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I'm back. There were actually people guarding here. Young master, didn't you say that you wouldn't be coming to the press conference? Did something happen again? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I had something to take a look at. You can all go back and rest. Yes. Then, they all walked away. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth curled up. Something big was about to happen. Now that there was no one around, Lin Xian circled around the crystal. It's so big, how can I take it away? Got it. Lin Xian then released the law of creation and created a huge space. Then, he sent the huge crystal into this space. Done. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth curled up slightly. Swish. At this time, Lin Xian's surroundings were sealed by a powerful space force. Lin Xian frowned. Good boy. A middle-aged man walked over. Then, he and dozens of other warriors walked not far behind Lin Xian. Lin Xian turned around and looked at them. Was he discovered? If I hadn't heard the news and specially contacted Tian, I would have been fooled by you. The Yang family's patriarch, Yang Kai, stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Was he discovered? What? How did you discover me? Then, the man who brought Lin Xian walked over from behind Yang Kai. I've been suspecting you for a long time. This is your own family, and you're the young master. You know your place better than me. Why do you still need me to lead you? So, I reported it to the patriarch. Sure enough. Lin Xian smiled. So that's how it is. Speaking of which, it was also very helpless. The main thing was that many people couldn't be bothered to do so much. Even if they had doubts, they wouldn't say it out loud. Why? If there was a mistake, wouldn't they disturb the patriarch in the middle of the night and provoke the young master again? Therefore, anyone with a brain would close their eyes and pretend that they didn't see anything as long as they weren't sure. But this person was a bit rash. He was like a fool. But even fools have their springtime. Just like now, didn't he make a great contribution? Who the hell are you? How dare you disguise yourself as Tian to steal crystals? Could it be that you're from the Yexian group? Yang Kai's eyes narrowed as he stared at Lin Xian. No. Lin Xian shook his head. Humph. Whether you are or not, we'll know soon. Go, capture him. I want him alive. Yang Kai said. This was his Yang family. His Yang family had so many experts. What did he have to worry about? Yes. Then, more than a dozen experts charged at Lin Xian. All of them were at the Great Void stage. To be honest, Lin Xian's voice was there after all. They felt that more than a dozen Great Void stage experts should be enough, right? If it wasn't enough, they would talk about it when the time came. As for Lin Xian, he was now a little embarrassed. The power of this space was at the Heavenly Dao realm. He was doomed. If it was just a Heavenly Dao realm space, it should be fine. But if it was released by a Heavenly Dao realm warrior with spatial attributes, it would be a big problem. Lin Xian might be in danger. Chapter 1691. Lin Xian was at the 9 stars of the Great Void realm. Apart from those at the Heavenly Dao realm, who could do a thing to Lin Xian at this realm? Lin Xian looked at the people charging at him as the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. In fact, he wasn't that flustered. He sensed that the highest realm among the people charging at him was only at the 7 stars of the Great Void realm. Perhaps in their eyes, these people's financial status was already very high. Perhaps in their eyes, Lin Xian was still young, and his cultivation level couldn't be that high. But, destruction laws. Lin Xian's simple destruction laws had the effect of causing everyone who charged at him to vomit blood before collapsing to the ground. Lin Xian didn't kill them. It was too easy to kill them if he wanted to, but Lin Xian and the Yang family didn't have a life-and-death feud. What they had was just a normal economic struggle. There was no need to blow things up. Murder. If he were to kill them, it would be a huge matter. Furthermore, Lin Xian believed that there was no need to kill them. What? Seeing this scene, the people of the Yang family were all dumbfounded. What's going on? Why is this happening? What's that power that was released? How did it injure them? This? He's just acting all mysterious. Great Void Realm's 9 stars and 10 stars, attack. I refuse to believe that he can overturn the heavens. Yang Kai bellowed coldly. Great Void Realm's 9 stars, 10 stars. Yes, it might be difficult for others, but to Lin Xian, he was invincible. As long as they hadn't reached the Heavenly Dao realm, Lin Xian could easily defeat them. In fact, that was indeed the case. In a short period of time, those 9 stars and 10 stars were defeated by Lin Xian. As for Lin Xian, he had never used his spatial attributes during the battle. Why not? In fact, he had been secretly using the creation laws to augment his spatial powers. The spatial powers that sealed him were very powerful. Even though Lin Xian's spatial powers were extremely exaggerated, it was still very difficult to break through. Therefore, Lin Xian secretly needed the creation laws to augment his spatial powers. He had to run. Who is this person? Why is his combat strength so strong? Great Void Realm's 9 stars. Why can he easily defeat the combined forces of 9 and 10 stars? It's very difficult to find such a person in the entire continent. Who are you? They stared intently at Lin Xian. Actually, the first thing these people suspected was the Ye Xian group. However, was there anyone in the Ye Xian group who had such power? Furthermore, it was a young man. Right? Lin Xian? Was Lin Xian's cultivation level that high? That shouldn't, right? Who? Take a guess. The corners of Lin Xian's lips curled up slightly. You forced my hand. I never expected that a great Void Realm expert could force my young family to send out a Heavenly Dao Realm expert. Patriarch, please take action. Yong Kai said respectfully. How embarrassing. You actually need me to take action. An old man slowly walked over as if he had complete control of the situation. The others bowed respectfully. Leave it to me. The elder's eyes focused as he stared at Lin Xian. Needless to say, it was quite scary. This was the way of the heavens. Lin Xian tried his best not to have any conflicts with the way of the heavens. He also couldn't go against the way of the heavens because the way of the heavens really had the ability to kill him. Previously, Lin Xian dared to provoke the way of the heavens no matter how big the gap was. However, the way of the heavens really didn't dare to provoke it. That's quite a pity, Lin Xian said with a smile. Oh. The Heavenly Dao Realm expert looked at Lin Xian. It was as though none of them believed that Lin Xian could escape. Then, let's meet again in the future. Space jump. Shua, Qi, someone sneered. Do you think a Heavenly Dao Realm spatial seal will let you escape? Bang, then, a hole appeared in space as Lin Xian vanished. Everyone. This? Quick. Lock onto him, quick. We can't lock onto him. We couldn't lock onto him immediately. Furthermore, his realm isn't low. This space jump is probably more than 100 kilometers away. Damn it. Who is it? Check it out, quick, check it out. The Yang family definitely did not expect such a thing to happen. The crystal was not considered precious, but it was essential to their plan to acquire Lin and city. It was an unimaginable amount of money. As for Lin Xian, he had already boarded the plane happily. Hey, beautiful sister. Find a place big enough and hidden enough. I have something I need to put there. Then, find a group of people to develop the teleportation bead. Lin Xian made a call to Murong Qing. Murong Qing knew that Lin Xian must have succeeded. It's that big? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, it's very big. It's not inferior to a single-story house in a village. All right, leave it to me. The development of the teleportation bead was actually very simple. Where did the teleportation bead come from? It was the spatial attribute in the bead. As long as one had the spatial attribute, they could teleport. Lin Xian already had the spatial attribute, so the rest could be created directly. This would definitely give the Ye Xian group another wave of momentum. As for the Yang group, even if they sold the Vigor Pill, it would not be easy for them to take over Lin and city. What Lin Xian was very curious about was why they were fighting with the Ye Xian group for Lin and city. Logically speaking, Lin and city should be a city that these big families could not wait to avoid. This was because Lin and city was a place that bordered the demon territory and the human territory. Although Tianhua City had been taken back, it would not be long before the demon race took it back. Now, the demon race was even stronger. In a more dangerous situation, the young group still wanted to fight for Lin and city. Don't you think it was strange? It was too strange. However, it was not easy for Lin Xian to find out about this matter in a short period of time. He had done what he needed to do. As for the rest, he did not know what to do. After returning and settling everything, Morong Qing began to send people to develop the teleportation bead. Lin Xian certainly knew that once the teleportation bead was developed, the Yang group would definitely target them. Therefore, the Azura Palace had also sent a large number of experts to protect this item. Their goal was to make money. We still need the heavenly Dao realm. Lin Xian muttered to himself. But he could not let Xiao Linglong and the rest go and take a look, right? As for the heavenly Dao realm, leave it to me. I will find someone to help. Of course, it will only be for a short period of time. That's all. Morong Qing said. All right. Time passed slowly. The Yang group sold the vigor pill, but the Yaxien group also sold the teleportation bead. It's the Yaxien group. The Yang group held a meeting. Chapter 1692. When the Yaxien group sold the same type of teleportation pearl as the Yang family, they knew who did it. But how did the Yaxien group find out? That night, when they ambushed our Yang family, their target was obviously the space crystal. Where did they get the news from? Then it must be our Yang family who leaked it. The Yang family members were exasperated. At this moment, Yang Tian hesitated for a moment before he finally stood up. I think it might be my fault. Everyone's gaze shifted over. Tian, what do you mean? Yang Kai looked at Yang Tian. Yang Tian said, Tian went to Lin and city before. He might have leaked the news while he was drinking and fell into their trap. Why would he think that way? At that time, he met so many beautiful girls and they seemed to be very attentive to him. However, when he woke up later, he realized that he did not even get their contact information. Then, he easily found them. They did not recognize him and completely ignored him. Yang Tian felt that he might have been used. However, he couldn't remember clearly what he had said. What? You're saying that you were used by the Yaxien group? Yang Tian nodded. What else did you say? Yang Kai and the others quickly asked. The space crystal might not be particularly important, but if he leaked the most important news, it would be a devastating blow to the Yang family's plan. No, Tianer is sure that he did not leak this. Yang Tian was sure of this. Although he drank too much, he was very sure of this matter. It's fine as long as this news is not leaked. There were only a few people in the entire Yang family who knew about this news in this conference hall. This news must not be leaked. Otherwise, our Yang family will not be able to compete with other forces. We must hold Lin and city tightly in our hands before they have time to react. Patriarch, elders, here comes a question. Did the Yaxien group in Lin and city also know about this news? Otherwise, why would they target Lin and city? That's right. This is also what I suspect. Logically speaking, Lin and city is an extremely dangerous city as it is close to the monster beast domain. If any enterprise has the chance, they will definitely transfer their enterprises. Otherwise, once Lin and city is attacked, their industries will instantly turn into bubbles and nothing will be left. Yes, but now there are people who are doing exactly the opposite. They bought those people's companies and want to make the whole city theirs. If that's the case, in the eyes of others, once Lin and city falls, their Art Xian group will go bankrupt and all their efforts will be for naught. They can't understand it, and we can't understand it either. Unless their motive is the same as ours. Those people discussed animatedly. An old man nodded his head. It seems like they also know the secret of Lin and city. Otherwise, they wouldn't be acting like this. It's completely incomprehensible. But how did they know? Why not? There are as many capable people in this world as there are hairs on a cow. It's just that no one knows about this, and no one has investigated in this direction. It's even more impossible for someone to spend several years to deduce this information. However, we did it. What we didn't expect was that there were others who did it too. Then how do we resolve this matter? Are we going to wipe out the people from the Arch-Shen group? Yong Kai shook his head. It's difficult. The Arch-Shen group has the Azura Palace and even Morong Qing from the Morong family. In addition, there are rumors that the Arch-Shen group has the Heavenly Dao realm. We can't fight them head-on. We can only fight an economic war. An economic war? It won't be easy for us either. The crystals have been stolen by them. With 1 plus and 1 minus, the capital gap has been pulled apart again. If it's another faction, we can still give it a try. But if it's the Arch-Shen group, it's really difficult to fight an economic war. In fact, those people were still very afraid of the Yes-Shen group. Normally, they would never be able to defeat the Yes-Shen group in their lifetime. They had seized the opportunity when the Yes-Shen group had invested almost all of its capital into acquiring Lin and City. Their original purpose was not to destroy the Yes-Shen group, but to acquire Lin and City. Then, Yong Kai stood up and said, "Let's show all the trump cards we've prepared. We can't miss this opportunity. If we miss it, the Arch-Shen group will have a lot of capital in a short period of time. It'll be impossible to fight an economic war with them then." Patriarch, are you sure you want to do this? If we do this, other than getting money, it'll be a huge loss in cultivation for our Yong family. Yes, this is using our years of accumulation in exchange for money. Is it worth it? Yong Kai's eyes narrowed and said, "Is it worth it? Do you think it's worth it? Lin and City is where the Dragon Vein is located. It might not be obvious now, but as long as we get Lin and City, we'll be able to make up for our losses in the future. Pass down my order." "Do it." "Yes." One night later, Lin Xian was shopping with a few girls when he received the news from Morong Qing. F***CK. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. "What's wrong?" Yi Yi looked at Lin Xian in confusion. "Is the Yong group crazy?" Lin Xian couldn't help but be shocked when he heard the news. She had thought that once the crystal was stolen, with the addition and subtraction, the Arch-Shen group would be fine. This Yong group should also stop. But they didn't. They even sold many of the Yong group's resources and signed some big cooperation agreements with many families. This caused Lin Xian to be dumbfounded. Lin Xian said, "The Yong group is planning to go head-to-head with the Arch-Shen group. They're even competing." Could it be that the Yong family was angry because they found out that they stole the crystal? Were they anxious? Was that all they could do? If they stole it, it meant that the Yong family could only steal it back. They couldn't tell outsiders that the Arch-Shen group stole it. There was no evidence. But stealing it was easier said than done. "Is the Arch-Shen group afraid?" Lu Yufan asked. "They're still afraid." Miao Xiaomiao muttered. The Arch-Shen group changed all their money into fixed assets. The Yong group doesn't seem to be targeting the Arch-Shen group. They just want to compete with the Arch-Shen group for control of Lin and City. Chapter 1693. Hearing Miao Xiaomiao's words, everyone was puzzled. But why? Lin and City is a city that borders the demonic beast domain. Furthermore, the situation in the demonic beast domain has been so good recently. It's even more dangerous for us humans. Why would there be a clan that would risk their lives to fight for a city that could fall any time? An Xian was puzzled. By the way, why does the Yes-Shen group want to control Lin and City? Zi Chue looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged and said, "For the Yes-Shen group, for me, this is what I mean. The reason is very simple. In the future, if you want to survive and have the right to speak, you must have enough power. However, having only one power is not enough. You must have a city in your hands. However, it is very difficult to achieve this. Only a few families in the entire human race can do it, but there are indeed some who can. But Lin and City is different from the cities controlled by other families." Lin Xian nodded. "I know, but Lin and City is cheap. The other families, such as the Zhuge family, have spent thousands of years ruling that city. I don't have that much time. Lin and city may fall at any time, so those entrepreneurs would rather lose money than sell everything in their hands. Otherwise, once it falls, everything will be zero. Aren't you worried? Zi Chue was even more puzzled. Lin Xian sighed. I wasn't worried before, but now I'm a little worried. Lin Xian. In fact, Lin Xian was not worried before. With Yi Renbing and the others, at least Lin and city would be fine. But in just a few months, the Demon League and the Demon God Temple had changed so much. They had become so much stronger and even found so many masters. This was indeed a little troublesome. But it's not a problem. Since it has come to this, this is the only way. Lin Xian shrugged. What do you mean by this? If you don't do anything, do you want to see your efforts go down the drain? Miao Xiaomiao stared at Lin Xian and said, Don't worry. In any case, the human race is not to be trifled with. The main issue now is how to deal with the Yong family. If these two families were to engage in an economic war, the amount of money involved would be unimaginable. That's right. I don't understand why the Yong family wants Lin and city so badly. There must be a reason. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, this reason must be very important. Firstly, Lin and city is a border city. Secondly, Lin and city is in the hands of the Art Xian group. If they want to control a city, there are many other better options besides Lin and city. Therefore, if they want to control Lin and city, this reason is definitely not because they want this power. What could it be? They didn't understand. Lin Xian was also puzzled. The only thing I can think of is that they want to control Lin and city at all costs. Could it be that they are in cahoots with the demons? Do they think that by controlling Lin and city, they will be able to coordinate with the demons when they attack, allowing the demons to easily take over Lin and city? Miao Xiaomiao muttered. That shouldn't be the case. The consequences are too severe. Besides, what can they get from the demon clan? Also, do they really dare to believe in the demons? Lin Xian shook his head. Then, Lin and city has a special meaning to the Yong family. For example, what treasures do they have in Lin and city? Zhao Yunqi said. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. But, even if there are treasures, do they have to take the entire Lin and city for themselves? They can just go to the place where the treasures are and get them. Lin Xian shook his head. Forget it, forget it. Let's not think about this for now. Then you have to think of a way to let the Art Xian group win this economic war. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, let me think about it. At night, they went home separately. Lin Xian also returned to Linglong Shui and the others' place. He lay on the sofa and played with little Sheshe and little Tianyi. In fact, Lin Xian had a way. He could use the law of creation to create money, but this was very discouraged and might cause some unnecessary trouble. Therefore, Lin Xian still looked for a proper way. The main thing was that the Yang family's attack was too fast. If they gave the Art Xian group half a month to breathe, they wouldn't be able to fight against them. However, they didn't give them any time at all. What's wrong? Yi Renbing sat beside Lin Xian. Lin Xian then told her about this matter. Money. She couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? This is a huge sum of money. It's a bit difficult to get. The main thing is that the other forces won't lend you money. Lin Xian said helplessly. Morong Qing, Luo Chenxi, and the others had already taken out all their money. Families like the Han family and the Ling family were very rich, but in this economic war, they didn't have much money. Moreover, they still had a large family to feed. Even if they wanted to help Lin Xian wouldn't let them. He wanted a huge sum of money. You should have said so earlier. Yi Renbing said. Huh. I don't have anything else now, but I have a lot of money. Lin Xian was stunned. Why? Do you think that I don't have the money of the human race in the demon god temple? For the demon race, there are many things that require the help of the human race. For example, the collection of materials. Many of the demon race's forces are secretly developing businesses in the human race. We can't just come to the human race and steal whatever we need, right? It's better to use the methods of the human race to do things. Especially the demon god temple near the human race, for example. My demon god temple has some money. Lin Xian opened his mouth. How much money can you have? Lin Xian wondered how much money she could have. A few 100 billion. Lin Xian. Damn. So much. What do you need so much money for? It's far more useful than you can imagine. For example, if you humans auction a treasure that is beneficial to us, you'd rather spend tens of billions to get it. Many of the precious treasures of the human race have already been auctioned off by the Yao race. Lin Xian. A few 100 billion was useful. Ahem. Lin Xian coughed dryly. When the time comes, I'll get Xuebing Xin to transfer the money to your account. Thank you, thank you. Then, Lin Xian looked at Huang Xian. Don't look at me. I don't have that much money. Huang Xian said. TSK, you can't. But this sovereign has a small city in the ice country. Half of the city should already be in the hands of this sovereign. It is managed by the people of the human race. If you need it, this sovereign will let them sell it. Lin Xian. F*CK. Were they all F*King rich women? Chapter 1694. Forget about Yi Renbing, it was normal for her to have some money. Well, it was normal for Huang Shi to have some money, but, damn. This Huang Shi had unexpectedly taken control of half of one of the cities in the ice country, and there were even people from the human race helping her take care of it. To put it simply, that human betrayed the human race and joined the demon god temple, then cooperated with them from the inside. This Huang Shi actually had such thoughts. Bastard! Lin Xian looked at Huang Shi and asked, You didn't do anything, right? Huang Shi looked at Lin Xian and asked, What did I do? I mean, you took control of half of the city. You didn't do anything big, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to keep you. I did. I killed all of them. Lin Xian. Big sister, stop fooling around. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Do you want it? Huang Shi was originally the demon god of the demon god temple, and she was still one now. It was reasonable for her to deal with the human race, but because of Lin Xian's appearance and because of her interaction with everyone, she didn't want to go to the demon god temple anymore. What else did she want from that half of the city? If she could help Lin Xian, it didn't matter if she didn't want it. Yes, of course I want it. Okay. Lin Xian was elated. Damn. It was great that the girls were all rich. This time, the Yang family would be dumbfounded. The assets of half of the city that Huang Shi sold were already very exaggerated. At that time, the Yang family would probably be confused, wondering where the Art Pavilion Group got such a large sum of money from. Then, there was no risk in this matter. With half of the city's assets here, what was Lin Xian worried about? I'm comfortable, let's sleep. Lin Xian stretched and then looked at Huang Shi. Huh. Huang Shi sneered. The next morning, Lin Xian was bombarded by phone calls. Lin Xian was called from an unknown number. Lin Xian was rather surprised. Lin Xian's number didn't participate in any activities, so he never received any harassment or scam calls from unknown numbers, unless someone entered the wrong number. However, Lin Xian hadn't received any such calls in a long time. It was very difficult for others to get Lin Xian's number through other means, unless it was an investigation. Hey! Lin Xian hugged Huang Shi and said in a sleepy voice. Lin Xian, aren't you going a little too far? Lin Xian was dumbfounded when he heard such a sentence right off the bat. What's too much? Who are you? I am Yang Tian from the Yang family. Lin Xian opened his eyes and yawned. Oh, young Master Yang. I've heard of him. Why? Lin Xian was a little curious. Isn't it just stealing your family's crystals? Was it necessary? Moreover, if it was stolen, then it was stolen. They must have known in their hearts. If there was no evidence, then were they stupid? Why did they have to talk about this over the phone? Not to mention over the phone, even if they brought countless experts to Lin Xian wouldn't admit it. No. Could it be a recording? Was he trying his luck to see if he would be exposed? Lin Xian yawned and said, "Young Master Yang, if you have anything to say, just say it. My Xian group has nothing to do with your Yang group. Lin Xian, stealing from my Yang family once is enough. How dare you do it twice? Quickly hand over the Chenji scroll. This young master will give you one last chance. Otherwise, don't blame my Yang family for not giving you any face. The Yang family could pretend that we didn't know the first time, but you guys are really too much." Yang Tian said angrily. "You're crazy. Go to hell, idiot." Lin Xian hung up the phone and threw it aside. Huang Shi opened her beautiful eyes. Lin Xian shook his head. "It's nothing. Let's go." Then, Lin Xian pressed on top of her. Early in the morning, he tormented her again. However, it was fine even if he didn't rest since last night. After all, a beauty of this level was worth it for a man to die of exhaustion. On the other side, Yang Tian hung up the phone and gritted his teeth. What did he say? He didn't admit it and even scolded me out of embarrassment. Yang Tian said angrily. Bang! His father, Yang Kai, slammed his fist on the table, smashing it into pieces. Damn it! Damn it! Yang Kai roared angrily. Patriarch, we can give up on this space crystal. It's just a tool for us to earn money and it's not that precious. We have other ways to earn money without it, but the Chenji scroll is too important to our Yang family. If we lose it, our Yang family's development will be halved. I really don't understand. How did they know that our Yang family has this Chenji scroll? Who leaked it? Then, some people looked at Yang Tian. Yang Tian quickly shook his head. I swear, I didn't leak it. I really didn't. Slap. Then, Yang Kai gave Yang Tian a slap. Trash. Kneel here and don't get up for 3 days. Yang Kai said angrily. Not him. Then who else could it be? There were very few people who knew about the Tianji scroll, and they were all in the Yang clan. Only this Yang Tian went out for a stroll and got drunk. After he got drunk, his crystal stones were stolen, and the next day, the Tianji scroll was stolen as well. He kept saying that he didn't leak it. However, he was drunk. How would he know if it was leaked? Then, Yang Kai quickly bowed to an old man. Old ancestor, what do you think we should do now? The Chenji scroll contains an extremely important secret. Now that this secret is about to be revealed, the Chenji scroll was stolen. The person who stole the Chenji scroll should be that person. Then should we kill our way over or... Trash, do you have evidence? The old ancestor shouted. They lowered their heads. Without evidence, it's useless no matter how you kill your way over. You can only send someone to get close and see if you can find any information. Then, send someone to check on Lin Xian who's behind the Xian group. He's an expert. He's the real leader of the Xian group. If we were to search according to the Chenji scroll, it should be Lin Xian. That's right. Follow Lin Xian closely. I think if the Chenji scroll is in his hands, he'll definitely look for it. Meanwhile, Lin Xian had no idea what was going on. What Chenji scroll? He had never even heard of such a thing. Furthermore, he really didn't even make a second trip to the Yang family before someone inexplicably pinned the blame on Lin Xian's head. As for the person who put the blame on Lin Xian, how should he put it? It was a complete accident. The Chenji scroll is in our hands. It's time to give it to the boss. I wonder what kind of secret this scroll is hiding. A young man shook his head and left Lin and city. Chapter 1695. The Devil Race's Domain. Several figures arrived at a certain location. Is this where D. Lin is? A bespectacled young man holding a notebook sat there and kept tapping on it. Then he nodded. Yes, it's here. The magnetic field here has also changed. At the same time, I've detected the direction of the spirit force. Have you locked on to the location? Zhao Mengyue asked. Yes. Boss, please take a look. Zhao Mengyue glanced at it. It's hidden quite well. Dainyu, break it for me. Zhao Mengyue said. Yes. A tall and sturdy man walked over and slowly raised his hand. Bang! A punch landed on the ground. The entire ground shook as if a missile had been shot down. When the dust settled, the place where he had punched had a deep passageway that was hard to tell how deep it was. Let's go. Then, they all jumped in. After a long time, the burly man hammered them underground while walking, forcefully hammering out a huge tunnel. Boss, it's just ahead, the bespectacled young man said. And Zhao Mengyue nodded. Bang! The final punch landed. There was a completely different world ahead. The Light Association deliberately hid Di Lin here. Did they think no one would be able to find it? Zhao Mengyue sneered. Protect me. I'll be back soon. Yes. Then, Zhao Mengyue walked in. About a few hours later, a terrifying force erupted. Zhao Mengyue slowly walked out from inside. Linya frowned slightly. There was a terrifying force wrapped around her body. Congratulations, boss, for obtaining power. Those people shouted one after another. Zhao Mengyue exhaled. This force is indeed tyrannical. The corner of her mouth curled up slightly. Boss, what kind of power is this? Let us feel it. The burly man said with a grin. Zhao Mengyue glanced at him. Bang, then, he flew out and crashed into the wall. It was unknown how far he crashed. Whoosh! A few seconds later, he arrived here in a sorry state. Did you feel it? I felt it, I felt it. Zhao Mengyue twisted her neck. It's time to prepare for something big. At this moment, another person arrived. Boss, the heavenly secret scroll is in our hands. Zhao Mengyue stretched out her hand, and the sheepskin scroll flew into her hand. Well done. Boss, what's the secret in the scroll of divine secrets? They asked curiously. The scroll of Tianji comes from the ancient times. It was accidentally obtained by the Yong family 1,000 years ago. Rather than calling it the scroll of Tianji, it is more like a treasure map. Treasure map? What's hidden here? There are a total of 10 Tianji scrolls in the world, corresponding to the 5 great demonic weapons and the 5 great godly weapons. They are truly powerful godly weapons. Other than the ones that have been found, there are at least 5 more that have been lost in the world. The 3 forces each have 1 godly weapon, which is also the main reason why they were able to secure the throne. As for the remaining 2 godly weapons, one of them is in the demon race, and the other is missing. As far as I know, the 5 great demonic weapons should have been lost in the world because their power is too strong. In the ancient times, the 5 great demonic weapons were lost. Zhao Mengyue said. In other words, there's a demonic weapon hidden in the scroll of Tianji? I'm not sure if it's a demonic weapon or a godly weapon, but it's definitely one of them. Of the 10 Tianji scrolls, where are the others? Perhaps they were destroyed, or perhaps they are lost in the world without anyone knowing. However, the scroll of Tianji that the Yong family accidentally obtained is indeed real. Zhao Mengyue said. But boss, if it's in the hands of the Yong family, why aren't they looking for it? The bespectacled young man adjusted his glasses and said, I've investigated this matter. Not everyone can find out information from the scroll of Tianji just because they obtained it. I'm guessing that the Yong family has been working hard in this area over the years. However, they can't invite too many people because they wouldn't be willing to spread this information to others. Therefore, the Yong family must have been researching the scroll of Tianji internally all these years. It's just that they haven't figured it out yet. Zhao Mengyue nodded. You're right. Boss, do you know? If I don't know, what's the point of having the scroll of Tianji? Let's go. Then, she walked away. Hey, why do you guys feel like the boss knows everything? The few of them whispered at the back. Yeah, although the boss is very powerful, she's still very young, isn't she? She's not even as old as us, but I feel like we really can't compare to her. She seems to know everything from the heavens to the earth. She knows a lot of ancient things. I suspect that our boss might have obtained some kind of inheritance. Inheritance? Yeah, it might be the inheritance of a very ancient expert. It might even include the inherited memories. Otherwise, how can we explain it? Yeah, I think so too. We can't go wrong by following the boss. They went outside. Boss, are we going to the place where the scroll of Tianji is now? Glasses asked. I'll go with Linya. You guys gather everyone and go to the Myriad Demon Alliance. Zhao Mengyue said. Huh? We're going? What? Are you afraid? No, we don't have the boss to lead us. If we go, I'm worried that we won't be able to achieve the desired effect. If we can't achieve the desired effect, then you guys can die. Zhao Mengyue said. Yes. Let's go. Zhao Mengyue said to Linya. How about I go to the Myriad Demon Alliance? Linya said. No need. What's there to talk about? I can talk about it. Linya said again. No need, they're fine too. Yeah. Linya didn't say anything else and left with Zhao Mengyue. She wanted to go to the Myriad Demon Alliance purely because it was a rare opportunity to be separated from Zhao Mengyue. Perhaps she could find an opportunity to contact Lin Xian and the others. However, Zhao Mengyue obviously guessed her thoughts and wouldn't let her be separated from her no matter what. On the other side, Lin Xian was playing with little Shusher when he received a call from Morong Yu. Hello, little Yu, are you back? I miss you. Morong Yu was silent for a moment. My father wants you to train a team. Are you interested? Lin Xian. Me? Are you kidding me? I'm just a little kid. You want me to train a team? No, although I did enter the military class at the martial arts academy, I didn't learn much. You can find anyone who's better than me. Stop fooling around. Lin Xian showed a helpless expression. What was going on? Chapter 1696. Morong Yu hesitated for a moment before saying, It's like this. My father didn't ask for your help to teach them about military matters. They're already very proficient in this area. My father wants you to teach them some combat countermeasures. Morong Yu's expression changed slightly. Ha! Lin Xian scratched his head. What do you mean? To put it simply, in the eyes of my father and the others, you're a genius. They hope that a genius can train a special team because such a team will be full of miracles. At the same time, they'll have endless ways to deal with the enemy. At the same time, it'll be difficult for the enemy to figure them out. Such a team can be used as a trump card. Lin Xian. I say, aren't you guys thinking too highly of me? What genius? I'm a genius just because I escaped from some F***king enemies? Lin Xian was really convinced. Why did it seem like he was something in the eyes of others? He was really very ordinary. This is my father's idea. And it's not just the Morong family. Almost all of the 12 great elders of the sanctuary have passed this decision. Lin Xian. I'm not going. Lin Xian shook his head. Do King have nothing better to do? I'll give you money. Tisk, do I look like someone who lacks money? If you can do it well, you'll be given enough money to tide the Yexian group over this crisis. The Yang family is one of the elders. They're the only ones who don't agree with this. But it's useless for them to disagree. Right now, the entire sanctuary supports you and opposes the Yang family's actions. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Although the Yexian group was not short of money now, Lin Xian still wanted money for free. But Lin Xian really felt that he did not have the ability to train others. Big sister, although I really want money, I don't have the ability to train others. If I don't King train them well and they die, I'll feel terrible. Lin Xian said. Of course, everyone will pay attention to your training methods. No matter what, you'll still have to pass the Divine Temple's test. It doesn't matter if you don't pass, but you'll still get paid. This is a plan that my father specially proposed after seeing the situation of your Art Xian group. It's also approved. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Are you messing around? I'm very grateful for Uncle Morong's kindness, but I really don't have the ability to do that. You have it. Damn, big sister, why do I make you guys think that I'm a freaking genius? What is so special about me? Why can't I see it myself? Don't forget that the prerequisite for me to realize many things is the law of creation. Without the law of creation, many things can't be realized. As Lin Xian's people, they knew this as well. However, Morong Yu also knew that Lin Xian's brain circuit was different from others. He could always come up with a novel way of thinking to defeat the enemy. He was indeed a genius. So are you coming or not? Morong Yu asked. Damn it. I'm coming. Lin Xian would be an idiot if he didn't want such a large sum of money. Whether it worked or not, he would think about it when the time came. Anyway, he had to earn the money first. Moreover, the Yang family was one of the 12 elders of the Divine Temple. Now, the other members of the elders didn't like the Yang family's approach to the Art Xian group. They had already begun to impeach the Yang family. To Lin Xian liked them. However, regardless of whether this person was Lin Xian or the Art Xian group, the Divine Temple didn't like it. At such a critical time for the human race, although martial artists were important, money was also very important. No matter what, the economy was the power of development. As a member of the 12 elders of the Divine Temple, the Yang family actually dared to openly challenge the Art Xian group at such a critical and difficult time. They didn't care what the Yang family's intentions were. As long as the Art Xian group was upright, the Yang family's actions wouldn't make the Divine Temple happy. Of course, the Yang group still brought out some results that benefited the continent, so they couldn't directly criticize them. It just so happened that Lin Xian also wanted to go over and accompany those girls. Almost all the girls here had accompanied him for many days. Although he still couldn't bear to part with them, there was no other way. Lin Xian still had things to do. They also had things to do. They also had things to do. They also had to cultivate. Lin Xian soon arrived at Divine Capital. At the airport, Ling Ying and Han Chuxue were waiting for Lin Xian. "Io, my two big darlings, I missed you so much." Lin Xian smiled and opened his arms. He wanted to hug the two darlings into his arms, but they easily avoided him. Stinky hooligan. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. "No matter how stinky you are, you still have to come into my arms." Lin Xian pulled her into his arms. Cough cough. There was a dry cough. Lin Xian looked over. There were a few men standing there. "Oh, who are they?" Lin Xian asked. "Hello, we are Ling Ying, Chushue's friends. I am Wang Jian." Wang Jian extended his hand to Lin Xian. Lin Xian politely shook his hand. "Hello." The others also walked over and politely shook hands with Lin Xian. "No, I'm curious. My girlfriends are here to pick me up. What are you doing here?" Lin Xian looked at them and asked. "Oh, it's like this. We are members of the Hidden Dragon Army. We heard that young Master Lin was here, so we specially came to welcome you." Hidden Dragon Army? Lin Xian was confused. "The team you're going to lead," Ling Ying said. "Huh? You all know? I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided yet. I just want to take a look. It's not a secret in the industry. You'll know the details later," Wang Jian said. "All right, thank you very much. But I want to spend some time with my girlfriends first, so I won't keep you company." Lin Xian then left with Ling Ying and Han Chuxue. It was obvious that these people were very arrogant. They did not take Lin Xian seriously. Perhaps they had heard of Lin Xian's achievements, but they thought that he was not qualified to lead them. What a joke. In addition to their tyrannical strength, almost all of them came from famous families. They had their own pride, and they would not accept someone younger than them to lead them. They were just here to take a look. But in reality, they would not accept it. Who is this Lin Xian? How dare he have so many girlfriends in public? Wang Jian frowned. Yes, and it's them. Chapter 1697. Tell me, what's the most impactful thing to a man? Other than strength, it's women. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue. Which one of them wasn't their dream girl? Some of them even knew them since they were young and liked them since they were young. But these two goddesses were now the girlfriend of a single person. Don't you think it's hard for them to accept? It's hard to accept. But they couldn't understand. Yeah, he's not as handsome as us, and he's not necessarily as strong as us. Other than getting first place in the Sky Martial Arts Conference, the rest is just his contribution to the human race. Just because of that. It looks like the Ling family and the Han family have already acknowledged this matter. That's why he dares to publicly show off his love to them. Why? On what basis? Is he really that powerful? Isn't it just the first place in the Sky Martial Arts Conference? That Duan Lingxiao and Qi Tianqing are also trash. The only person he likes, Morongyu, probably lost to him because she let him win. If we or those other people were in the Sky Martial Arts Conference or that year's Martial Arts Academy, he wouldn't have been able to be so presumptuous. Duan Lingxiao and those other people are the so-called top geniuses, but in reality, there are many people more powerful than them. I'd like to see what he's capable of. How did you all know? Lin Xian asked them. It's not a secret, and it's probably a deliberate move by the Holy Temple. They want to spread the news so that you won't have a reason to refuse. Han Chuxue said. Wow. So insidious. So why did you come? I'm short of money. Tisech. Linging rolled his eyes. Do you really plan to come and teach those people? They're a group of unruly young masters and daughters. They won't accept you and will probably cause you a lot of trouble. This is not a good job. Linging said. TCH, do you think I'm afraid of them? We'll see. By the way, did the Evil Fiend Temple contact you? They shook their heads. Not yet. In the eyes of the people from the Evil Divine Palace, they had still consumed the poison pill, and their Evil Divine Palace could still casually control the lives of Lin Xian and the others. Lin Xian and the others still had to act according to their orders, but they had already been back for a few days, and they actually didn't contact them, which was quite strange. Maybe it's not time to contact him yet. Lin Xian muttered to himself. Now, Lin Xian was really looking forward to them contacting him. Speaking of the devil, Lin Xian's phone rang just as they were talking about this topic. Hey. Young Master Lin, welcome back. A gloomy voice came from inside, but there seemed to be a hint of a smile. You are Evil Fiend Temple? Lin Xian asked. Yes. Lin Xian believed that he, Ling Ying, and Han Chuxue must be in the side of the person who spoke, but Lin Xian really couldn't find him. Even if he did, it would be useless. What's the matter? Let me tell you, your Evil Fiend Temple is not trustworthy. During the time I was away, you actually took away 10% of the Yexian Group's money, causing the Yexian Group to be in a crisis. Your Evil Fiend Temple is really ridiculous. Lin Xian deliberately said this, deliberately making it seem like he was in a bad mood. Young Master Lin, there's no need to be angry. This is all for the sake of the Evil Fiend Temple's construction, including the fact that young Master Lin will also be a member of the Evil Fiend Temple in the future. All of this will benefit you. Heh. Lin Xian laughed, and said, Benefit me? To your Evil Fiend Temple, I, Lin Xian, am just a chess piece. You keep me now because I'm valuable, and when I'm no longer valuable, you can kick me away and kill me, right? He, young Master Lin is overthinking it. To the Evil Fiend Temple, young Master Lin is a very, very important person. Heh. A very, very important person. Why can't I see it? Until now, I haven't even come into contact with the core of your Evil Fiend Temple, and you call me very important? He, young Master Lin, isn't this because of my observation of you? I've already King taken the poison pill, and you're telling me that you still want to observe me? Let me tell you, don't play these empty words with me. I, Lin Xian, am not someone to be trifled with. Lin Xian said coldly. Ha ha ha, young Master Lin, don't be angry. Didn't I tell you before? Go to the God's Awakening Door first. Go to the God's Awakening Door to strengthen yourself, and come back even stronger. Then, young Master Lin can become the core of my evil fiend temple, and we don't have any wariness towards young Master Lin. Aren't we waiting for young Master Lin to become truly strong before telling young Master Lin about the core of the evil fiend temple? Lin Xian said, Is that enough now? Ha ha ha, of course, otherwise I wouldn't have contacted you. It's like this, I'm the left protector of the evil fiend temple, and I'm here to tell young Master Lin about these things. Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. Evil fiend temple, he didn't say evil fiend temple, evil fiend water temple, he said evil fiend temple, so he was the left protector of the evil fiend temple. At least on the surface. Of course, Lin Xian couldn't believe all of it. However, there was basically nothing to worry about. In their eyes, Lin Xian and the others had consumed the poison pill. That was a fact. It was impossible for them to consume the poison pill. Unless they didn't want to live anymore, what was there to worry about? What's the matter? Of course it's a big matter. May I know what young Master Lin's cultivation is now? 9 stars. 9 stars of the Great Void stage at such a young age, that's enough. How about this, after young Master Lin is done with the matters at the Holy Palace, I'll contact you again, okay? Okay. Then I won't disturb you anymore. Then, that person hung up. Ling Ying and Han Chuxue knew what was going on, so they didn't say anything. How long will it take to go to the Holy Palace this time? Lin Xian asked. Who knows? Originally, they invited me and Chuxue to join, but we didn't decide whether to join or not. Ling Ying said. What's the purpose of this force? Ling Ying said, As you know, the situation between the human clan and the demon clan is getting worse and worse, so they carefully selected some people from the human clan. They all have various outstanding abilities, and they want to organize these people to form a special team to complete extremely difficult and important tasks. The Hidden Dragon Army is such a team. By the way, there are many people in the Hidden Dragon Army who are from our martial arts academy. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. Okay, I got it. I have to see if I have the ability, otherwise I'll lead them astray, and if something happens, it will be my fault. Chapter 1698. Although Lin Xian was shameless, he was still very responsible. Although he was lazy, Lin Xian was still willing to do things that would benefit him. If the Divine Temple wanted him to help, then there would be benefits, and it would not only benefit the Morong family. If he helped, even 11 of the 12 great elders of the Divine Temple might help Lin Xian. That was basically the entire Divine Temple. Therefore, if something happened to them, almost the entire Divine Temple would help. Lin Xian would be very happy. This was actually what the Divine Temple wanted. They wanted him to come and help them train a team that they were satisfied with. There were at least 11 great elders of the Divine Temple, which was basically the entire Divine Temple, so they could support him at least once. The most obvious thing was that with them, the Yang family would not dare to do anything, at least on the surface. Even if they did, they would be able to help Lin Xian. Then Lin Xian would be happy. Then the 3 of them went to a private room in a restaurant and ordered a table full of delicious food. Hey, this evil fiend temple. Ling Ying said in a low voice. Han Chuxue also looked over. Lin Xian pondered for a moment, then said, I don't know if what they said is true or false. They think that with the poison pill, we won't all risk our lives to go against them, so maybe it's true. Maybe it will let me come into contact with the main hall in a short time. But the evil fiend temple is very cautious. Don't be too sure when the time comes, otherwise all your previous efforts will be wasted. Han Chuxue said. Yes, I know. Then since you're going to the Divine Temple, let's go and take a look. Ling Ying said. What are you going to do? Don't you have anything to do? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. You don't say. After coming back from the God's Awakening door, I really have nothing to do. I really want the monster race and the human race to fight, or give me some missions, otherwise I'll be bored to death. Ling Ying stretched. You don't want peace that much? Han Chushue glanced at her. That's not true. Sooner or later, we'll have to fight. Even if I say we won't fight, can we really not fight? Isn't it better to go to the demonic beast domain? Fragrant my ass. My cultivation level has already reached the high level of the absolute void stage. If I want to increase my cultivation level any further, I will have to face even more dangerous and powerful demonic beasts. The risk is too great. Moreover, I will have to go deeper into the forest. I am afraid of death. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. Then let's go together. Maybe I'll give you some quests. That way, you won't be bored. Lin Xian. That's right, that's what I was thinking. Isn't that right, Chushue? Han Chushue nodded. Up to you. Lin Xian shrugged. Then I'll call them all over. Who is it? Yuhan and Xinyue. If they don't have anything to do, they can come over together. We're a team, and it's been a long time since we fought together. Ling Ying was playing with his phone. Whatever. Lin Xian shrugged. After the meal, they walked towards the Holy Palace together. How much do you know about this matter? Han Chushue shook her head. I don't know the details. Once we go in, someone will definitely tell you. All right. They arrived at the entrance of the Holy Palace. This was Lin Xian's second time coming to the Holy Palace. The first time was when he entered the gate of the Divine Domain with Murong Yu. However, this was the headquarters of the Holy Palace, but it didn't mean that this was the real Holy Palace. Ha ha ha, little Xian, you're finally here. Murong Feng brought a few people and waited for Lin Xian at the entrance. Murong Feng was a person of status. How many people could make him personally wait? Lin Xian was one of them. Of course, other than Lin Xian's importance, the main reason he came here to wait for Lin Xian was that he liked this kid too much. He came here to wait for Lin Xian of his own free will. Uncle Murong. Lin Xian walked over with a smile. Not bad, it's good that you're here. Murong Feng patted Lin Xian's shoulder and said with a smile. Sigh, there's no other way. Who told my family to be poor? Since Uncle Murong and the seniors of the Holy Palace extended their hands, I must accept, right? Lin Xian grinned. You little brat. Then, Murong Feng looked at Ling Ying and Han Chushue and said, Little Ying, Chushue, you two come in as well. Thank you, Uncle Murong. They walked in. Come, Lin Xian, let me introduce you. This is the head of the High family, one of the 12 elders of the Holy Palace. This is the head of the Tian family, one of the 12 elders of the Holy Palace. When they heard that you were here, they especially came here. Murong Feng said. Lin Xian then cupped his fists towards them. Greetings. Seniors. They nodded. Not bad, you're young and promising. I've long heard of your deeds. It's a pity that I can only meet you today. Lin Xian smiled and said, Seniors are too polite. I'm just an ordinary warrior and a little brat. How can I be compared to you? This world is so big, and there are so many hidden families. Now that they have come out one after another, there are people who are stronger and more outstanding than me everywhere. There are so many people out there, and I am just an ordinary warrior among the many warriors. Modest. Lin Xian scratched his head. Look, he's pretending again. Ling Ying whispered to Han Chushue. Han Chushue also helplessly shook her head. Modest. This was not Lin Xian's style. Indeed, it was not Lin Xian's style. However, Lin Xian's modesty also depended on the person, right? The other party was polite to you and didn't have any enmity towards you. Of course, you had to be polite to them. Uncle Murong, I don't know what you're thinking. Why do you want me to teach them? What can I teach? I'm not even as old as them. Moreover, I might not be as experienced as them. Lin Xian helplessly shook his head and said, "Ha ha ha, let's not talk about this. Let's eat first. Uncle Morong, we just finished eating and came over." Lin Xian awkwardly said. Morong Fong patted Lin Xian's shoulder and said, "I think you have the ability." Lin Xian, I say, Uncle Morong, you can't have blind confidence in me. Yes, I've done some amazing things, but that doesn't mean I understand these things. Morong Fong smiled and said, "It doesn't matter. You take them with you first. We'll also keep an eye on them. If they're not suitable, we'll definitely tell you. Don't worry, just teach them according to what you think is right." Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and said, "Okay, where is it? I'll go take a look now." Really, he didn't know why these people thought he was so special. Lin Xian really didn't have anything special. Chapter 1699. Lin Xian felt that this was outrageous. They were a group of experts, a group of commanders, and a group of big shots. Why were they so careless? Of course, these experts wouldn't be so careless. This was definitely something that they had thought through carefully before making this decision. "Xiao Yu, go and gather the hidden dragon army. We'll go over in a moment," Morong Fong said when he saw Morong Yu walking over. "Yes." Morong Yu then walked away. Morong Fong then said to Lin Xian, "When the time comes, you can teach them however you want. We'll just watch. Don't be afraid of making mistakes." Lin Xian nodded. "Okay, I understand." The hidden dragon army has a total of 440 people. I'll give you 110 people. There are 4 teams. You'll lead 1 team, and the others will lead 3 teams. The strength of your 4 teams is relatively average. Basically, they're all from the domain realm to the virtualized realm, and even the virtualized realm's 9 stars. However, each of them is more or less not simple. They either have stronger attributes or special laws or domains. Lin Xian nodded. "Okay, I understand." In half a month, your 4 teams will have a competition. Simply put, it's a martial arts competition. In this half a month, I hope to see a qualitative change in your team. I say, Uncle Morong, how can I have this ability? How can I have a qualitative change in them? The High family head smiled and said, "If you can't do it, it means that you're not suitable to be a leader." I understand. If I can't make a qualitative change in them, I don't need to be a leader, right? Lin Xian said. That's probably the case. Lin Xian nodded. Okay, I understand. Lin Xian, don't feel uncomfortable because they're very important. We also think that you might have the ability, but whether or not you're suitable depends on your performance. If you're not suitable, we still need to ask others to teach you. Morong Fong said very straightforwardly. He felt that there was no need to hide anything from Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and said, "Uncle Morong, you are all experts. You have the power to kill in your hands. You actually want me to try on such an important matter. This proves how much you approve of me in your hearts. I will try my best. If it doesn't work, then there is nothing I can do." "Yes. Fine. Let's go then." Then they walked over. Morong Fong and the others had been discussing Lin Xian's matter for a long time. They recognized Lin Xian's strength and ability, but they didn't know how strong he was in this aspect. However, they believed that Lin Xian was a demonic genius. If they could let others learn from Lin Xian, then they would become a headache for the demon race in the future. Morong Fong and the others had been talking about Lin Xian for a long time. Of course, this was just an idealization. The specifics would depend on the situation. In any case, they just wanted to give it a try. If it didn't work, then it wouldn't work. They just had a little bit of hope. The main thing was that Lin Xian had given them too much of an impact. Now, no matter what they did, as long as Lin Xian did it, they would inexplicably think that he could do it. He could complete the task perfectly. They arrived at a huge open space. There were already a few hundred people gathered here. They could clearly see that they were divided into 4 groups. There were also some experts from the temple watching from a distance. This is the place where the hidden dragon army gathers. They will live in the temple and enjoy the resources of the temple until they have the ability to complete some difficult tasks. Morong Fong said. Yes, there are even many top geniuses among them. They even come from top clans and forces. Lin Xian said, then why do they want to join the hidden dragon army? Morong Fong said, some of them are willing because they know that the hidden dragon army represents the peak of their generation on the continent. They will also receive the best training. They will be a very important group for the entire human race in the future. They shoulder a great mission. Maybe they like to have this kind of honor. Some of them were invited by us. For example, the Martial Arts Academy. Most of them are outstanding students from your martial arts academy. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I know. Then, they walked in front of those people. Everyone, let me introduce you. This is the captain of the Hidden Dragon Army's 4th team. I believe you all know him. Lin Xian. Welcome. Morong Fong said. Hua, then those people applauded. As you can see, many people looked at Lin Xian with disdain. Whether it was the other 3 teams or Lin Xian's 4th team, many people looked at him with disdain. Most of these disdainful people were arrogant geniuses. They might even be in the virtualized realm. Who did they think the captain they had been waiting for several days would be? It turned out to be Lin Xian, who was about the same age and realm as them. Then tell me, who would be happy? They were all geniuses. They were about the same age. Some of them were even older than Lin Xian. Then, they had to call a little brat captain? They had to be led by a little brat and promoted? They had to let a little brat teach them? How could they be happy? Lin Xian, you tell them the rest. Morong Fong said. Lin Xian nodded. Then, he walked in front of the 4th team. Yes, there are also many students from the Martial Arts Academy. There are also some that I know by name. Very good. From today onwards, I will be your captain. Of course, I can only be your captain for half a month. However, I will be more diligent during this half month. I also hope that you can cooperate. At this time, a man stood up and said, I don't understand. What don't you understand? Morong Fong asked. This Lin Xian is indeed quite famous. However, his realm, strength, and ability might not be as strong as mine. I don't think that I am qualified to be the captain. However, I also don't think that someone younger than me has the ability. I also don't think that he can teach us anything. Look at the other 3 teams. Their captains are either experts who have been famous for a long time or extremely experienced experts. There are even Heavenly Dao Realm seniors. Therefore, I don't understand. We are all from the Hidden Dragon Army. Why are we being led by a kid younger than me? Morong Fong looked at Lin Xian and said, Lin Xian, show him why you are the captain and not him. Lin Xian nodded. Then, he looked at that person and said, 9 stars of the virtualized realm? Yes. Qing family's Qing Yu. Please advise. Lin Xian smiled and said, no wonder you are convinced. However, I will not compete with you in strength. You are not worthy. What? Then, Lin Xian looked at an expert and said, this senior should be in the Heavenly Dao realm, right? This was the captain of the 1st team, or rather, the teacher. What is little brother Lin trying to say? If I can defeat a Heavenly Dao realm senior, will anyone still have any doubts? Everyone. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.